3, 2, 1, and welcome back to Chasin the Racin.
And welcome back to the Hold a Fart competition.
Oh my god.
That's
That's a good that.
Don't waft. Oh, you fucking rotten bastard.
I've sort of wafted over with the Alan Carter book. Cheers, Alan.
Well, welcome back to the podcast. I think that is probably the best introduction we've had at the show by far, by none. Or not that side of things.
It's got to me.
That is... Whoa.
Oh, it's not so good, is it? I've no interest. I've got my Crocs on.
Good lad.
Crocs and socks. But the what do you call it ones? The thermal ones. And it's June, innit? I've got thermal Crocs on. What's crack? It's freezing, innit?
I was about to say, because last time we did the TT review with you, we were sitting out there and it was absolutely... We were sun dodging. We were trying to park Chris's studio.
I don't understand it.
We were trying to crack a door, weren't we? Yeah, it was stinking
It's
out.
absolutely horrible. Well, TT fortnight's been cold.
It's been
cold.
It's been really
wind
cold.
has been brutal. Cut you in half, didn't it? And weirdly enough, every time I did three races I got on, it was beautiful. The wind just went,
yeah.
like a superbike race, a senior race, and one stocker race. No wind, good light, dry roads. Weird. Everything in between just been pants. But anyway, it's been like the Somme. It's like World War I Somme, where we were parked. You know, where the moorhomes have been. It's been an absolute shit tip. It's like being at schoolboy moorcross meeting 30 years ago. Head to toe and shy up for 2 weeks, but anyway, the riding's been good.
The riding's been good on that. But I'll tell you what, let's paint the scene. Let's talk about last year. You know, last year it wasn't the John McGuinness that we knew. This year, you have come out absolute swinging, and it's you know what, John McGuinness is back, ladies and gentlemen. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a great last few months. It has to be said, but yeah, just
that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, you're right. It's not been. I'm not right at the sharp end, but fully sharp end. 135s, 34s, whatever. But you know, my ideals are 133, 132.5 at the TT. Best overall accumulative time of 6 laps. So we're going forward, even though we're going older. We're still going forward. So going to 132s on the stocker. Yeah, personal best lap times at Northwest, podium at Northwest, personal best lap times at Alton Park, Donington. So yeah, just ticking boxes everywhere. New bike, new me, and maybe like last year I lost a bit of belief in myself. Maybe like you touched base a little bit on last year, but this year I just thought, God, you know, I can breathe. I've got the experience. I've got 2 arms, 2 legs. I'm fairly fittish. But this year I put a bit more work in, to be honest. I think I put a little bit more leg in. Not so much on the training side, just on the... I'm not laughing, Akroyd, you prick. On the right.
Diet's changed.
No, hey, you take piss all you want, but, you know, like, yeah, I love a pot noodle, I love this, I love nothing that's any health whatsoever, and I don't drink any water or anything like that. But I went to Portugal twice. I did the launch of the 2024 stocker and, 5-blade and 600. I went to Estoril to ride, went to Andalusia to ride, so did it off my own back with Andre Compton. So me and Andre went, Andre organised it because I couldn't organise a piss up at a brewery. So he just sorted it all out for me and off we went to ride. So hundreds of laps at Portugal, loads of laps at Andalusia. So been under the radar, sticking the work in. So it all goes, it's all for the road racing for me. The priority is Northwest and TT, and I just focused on that. And go on.
But the mad thing, sorry for interrupting, but like I must talk about how it's not just the work element. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The last 2 years prior to this was not you. You were off the pace.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like
struggled a bit. Yeah, 22 I struggled. 22 I struggled a little bit with all this 30th anniversary of the 5-blade, turning 50, 100 starts, MBE, new teeth, got a tattoo, blah, blah, blah. There's loads of interferences in my head, you know, nothing. I wasn't really concentrating on the riding and gold bike, this going on, that going on. 23. Didn't think, I thought it was better, a little bit better.
Well, I think you were a lot better because, do you know,
23 were better.
We were sat listening at home this year to the senior, and Zoe just said to me, do you know, last year you got a bit of stick about why would you be coming back?
Yeah.
Why continue? And she's on all these fucking Facebook groups, and she said, there's just a few groups where people were, oh, why is John carrying on? He needs to stop, and all the rest of it. But this year, there was none of that. And I think that's because of last year, and obviously then what you've been doing this year.
Yeah, but it does motivate me a little bit. I do read these comments. I've had a little bit of stick recently on the old Instagram and Twitter. A couple of guys have been at me a little bit about my weight and laughing at me because I finished 6th and you'll never win another race ever again and all that lot. And I got a bit too invested in it. We had a little bit of a chat about it today. And in the end I blocked them now. But they did motivate me a little bit. I thought, well, you bastards, like, as long as I'm justifying the ride at number 1 on the Honda, then I'm happy. If I'm not and they're kicking me off that step, then I'll be the first one to move out of the way. So I don't know, I went back number 1 this year as well, and I thought I've got to roll my sleeves up here a little bit. I've got to make sure that I'm doing a decent job, and I'd like to think I did. And I really enjoyed being on the bike. 2024 bike was better.
What are the for the people that don't know, you immediately said it was the bike, but that's a small part of it. But what is the significant difference between your bike from last year to this year?
I think it was easier to ride. I think it was slightly more stable. I like them split throttles. I love the road bike straight away. When I went to Portugal, I spent 9 days on it. I did 1,200 miles with all the journalists. You couldn't get me off it. One of the reasons why they couldn't get me off it because I wanted to train and ride and ride and ride. And the other side, I actually really enjoyed it. I loved riding it. So I knew it would turn into a decent race bike.
Yeah.
TT bike. All the time I'm thinking TT all the time. I'm thinking, alright, that'd be nice to ride this. After 4 laps, it's not going to be tiring. It's not as aggressive. It's got more mid-range. It's a bit more punch. It just feeds power in a bit easier. So it's not as peaky as the last one. So all the time I'm thinking it's going to be a better bike, this. And it was. I wouldn't say it's much faster, but it just delivers it a bit easier. There's loads of little details in there. They look the same with a bit of a wing on, but the cam timing's different, the duration's different, the crank's lighter, the frame's slightly different, the front. There's so many little intricate details, and it's just made it a little bit of a better bike. I think it could be better. The BMW is doing 206. We were nowhere near 206 mile an hour.
Is that?
We were.
Oh, sorry, that's superbike terms with Josh Brooks on. Yeah.
The BMs are consistent in the tours.
What was the fastest Honda? What were they doing?
Oh, Dunlop would have been, but
Dunlop, I think. Yeah, maybe scraped
top
into
speed
200s.
though. Yeah, you got 200
with a draft or whatever. I don't know, but they were just punching their way down that Sulby straight at over 200 mile an hour all the time, and it's not 200 mile down the Sulby, is it? It's 200 mile an hour to Crosby, it's 200 mile an hour to Griever, it's 200 mile an hour down the mountain, up the mountain, everywhere. So it's not taking anything away from any of the guys on the BMWs, but sometimes it's a little bit of free time. But I didn't want to get too invested in that. For me, I just wanted to do a good job.
Yeah.
The pressure's slightly on Dean. He's the number 1 guy in the team now, so he's got to deliver, and I think he did. He got 4. He was out of his 6 starts, he had 4 podiums. So,
did you feel any pressure this year?
Me?
Or different pressure?
Not pressure. Only pressure I put on myself because I wanted to do okay. There's no way you can't put yourself under any pressure. You sat there with a factory Honda at number 1.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. For me, 10 years ago, if I hadn't won the race, I'd be sulking. But now I can ride the bike and hold my head up high and go, do you know what, I enjoyed that.
Had you given yourself, before you went there, where you needed to be, or where you wanted to be?
Top 6.
Yeah.
I wanted to be top 6 and battling with the best. Again, this is probably a shitty thing to say, best of the rest. But we're not the best of the rest, we're just slightly slower than the guys. There's like maybe 4 at the top. You call them what you want, aliens, the best guys. I needed a bit of luck to stand on the podium. I would have loved to stand on the podium, but I wasn't. It wasn't to be. But I was, dicing with Jamie Coward, James Hillier, keeping all them guys honest, and Josh Brooks and things like that. And I beat, James Hillier beat me by 2 seconds in the Superbike race, and I beat Jamie Coward by 0.2, which is nuts, over 226 miles. So I was right where I wanted to be. If I needed a couple of them to break down and get on the podium, which would have been the icing on the cake, but I was never going to beat them top guys because I can't. It's impossible for me to do that now.
Here's a question for both of you. So obviously throughout the year the TT organisers go through, they're constantly maintaining, making sure the track's in the best condition that it can be within reason. Obviously, they can't fully resurface from Ginger Hall through to Ramsey, but they're constantly every year. Do you think the track, have they done a lot of work this year that meant nothing? No?
Resurfaced down out of Ginger Hall into Carramore, which was delightful. I mean, that left was lovely, good camera, and you could go around it so fast. There's probably 1 second in that, but I thought you would lose more on the rest of the track because Mayhill's got rougher.
Yep.
Unbelievably bumpy into there and around there now. Coming out of Glenvine's bumpy as well. There's loads of bits that are worse than they were last year. So the track's
one of the biggest negatives was coming up Sarah's Cottage, coming through the Glen Helen section. Yeah. It's like where the new tarmac met the old, the new met the old there, and the water. Now, was it holding the water or was it coming out the ground?
Well, it was on the crown, wasn't it? So it was running up and running onto that new surface, wasn't it? So there was there'd be a couple of seconds in that, wasn't there? Surely you couldn't commit at all, could you, around there?
And when you think, well, as you know, Joe, when you come up Sarah's Cronk, up Lamb Fell and then up Cronk your body, and it's just...
I thought the white lines were a bit slippy as well. Even Sarah's going across the white lines, you always felt like on the mountain veranda and stuff like that. Maybe because it was cold and it never really rubbed in, but...
That was But what impressed me this year is how quickly the times went up.
When you think about your first night of practice they were sort of steady away, and then second night they were.
But the wind as well. It's just like, but then why does that happen? Is that through necessity? If you know what I mean.
Speed.
But no, it is. When you think last year, it was such a gradual build up. Now, was that through, do I dare say, heat exhaustion? Or too many laps on a bike on? Because when you think...
I thought last year they come out of the traps quite quick early on. I thought it was 1:30 on first night. I might be wrong. But
I think it was 1:30 first
last
night.
Year.
But I mean, as far as the Rockstar's concerned, but what I found, this year, it's like, I'm using your terminology, but, the best of the rest, it's that side of things. Everyone just seemed to have gone straight high up numbers, and you're thinking...
Do you think that's because the shit weather's making you think, you've got a lot of time to think about, haven't you? And then when it comes to it, you want to pull the pin and you go.
Maybe a bit of panicking earlier on, because when we read the weather, it's Tuesday, Wednesday of practice week, seemed a write-off, but I'm sure we got out on one of the nights, it changed a bit. And there was that road traffic accident, wasn't it? Nothing to do with the weather. That supposed to be a car and 10 bikes involved. I don't know the details, but that wrote one of the nights off, so...
I tell you
there
what...
wasn't a right lot of practice going on, was it?
What did you get, 3 nights?
Well, we got 2 days. So it was the Monday and the Friday.
Got a morning, didn't we? You got an afternoon and a night first night, which was all right, but it was still windy and cold now.
One evening you got a lap, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, first one was untimed, wasn't it? 40 minutes apiece or something, and then we went out.
Do you think that's a good idea, in your opinion?
What, untimed?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get why it's timed or not timed. Time it. It doesn't really matter, does it? Have it as a qualifying lap, it doesn't really.
That's the other side of it, because I like it.
They've probably done it to take the pressure off, to just say nobody gives a shit about times tonight, lads. It's your first night out. Just go and remember where you're going.
Then it was timed in the afternoon or the night time. The afternoon was non-timed.
Yeah,
but if you brought down your twin or something the rest of the week, and that's not classed as a qualifying lap, it don't really make sense, does it?
Yeah.
You're totally as far as you've completed a lap of the TT course, it was like, there you go.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it did with the lack of laps and obviously race conditions, every day was getting cancelled on that side of things. That's something I found really apparent this year, because I think we had the weather. You almost woke up and you knew when you were going to do the job on that side of things. You're like, the race is going to be at 10:30. You were probably expecting 10-15 minute delay max. So you're prepped for it. But this year I felt more knackered from doing less.
Because your mind's working all day long, your heart's beating all day long, you're nervous all day long, you can't eat, and because you think you're going out at 6:30 when it didn't happen, did it? So it was like, so it did tire you out. It tires you out doing nothing when you're thinking about it all the time, I think.
How many times did you both have to get into your leathers to not ride, to get undressed again?
No, twice.
Because I remember that race, awful feeling, isn't it? Because your head goes into a certain mind space, doesn't it? And
we had the helmet on. We had the helmets on, ready to go one night practice. And through a shower. It was like, fuck. So it's back off again. But you wait all day. And it was weird. It was like, it pounded it down till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said to Gary, is it happening? Well, yeah, it's happening.
That was weird. That was so weird.
He must be joking. He just didn't. And then travelling Marshall said it's dry. I was like, I can't be. All the years I've done it. I thought, but apparently it was. But then it threw a shower as we had the helmets on, just going to the line. So it was a.
Did you go out in that? You did, because you and Rutter went out and you set off behind me, and I had to pull in at Ramsey, and it was just that.
Yeah.
That was the only warm up lap we got at the whole
practice? Well, yeah.
No, the whole race week.
Yeah.
And it was just like.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice at all.
Nah. It was like
it's hard because
under all the trees.
See, this is the thing. Now, what's interesting is we were talking about the armchair warriors. Everyone who's got an opinion, and it was like, well, back in the day they would have raced.
Yeah.
That fucks me off.
Back in the day, they weren't riding someone that's got 220 horsepower, were they?
But
if they said the race was in the dam, everybody would go. You know what I mean? You'd probably go, and you go, well, I mean. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to point fingers at volunteers and marshals. And sometimes when you look back on the road, it looks different to when you're looking that way down the road.
Yeah.
If the sun's on it or whatever, and you might not see a damp patch. But we were ploughing into 11th milestone, it was wet. There were no flags. Now, what do you do?
But in the same, this is the thing, because obviously, there's no marshals at that particular point, like you said, from a distance on a range side of things. And also, when you, the particular corner you're talking about, when you think about the conifers, how dark that is. I didn't know it was wet till I was on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then
if I was number one on the road, I'm the test pilot, nobody's going to pass me for a lap. I've got a lap of
Did you have a little kiss to yourself?
Well, that super stock race that I at the sidecar dropped load of oil through Rencullen. I was shitting my pants going to Rencullen.
Oh no! Not really just Rencullen, mind. Kurt Michael all the way through.
Yeah, it was after Kurt Michael as you come out of the village and down over the first jump, down the right, over the second jump, downhill. So
through Bishop's Court.
But you don't know, do you? And you look, somebody has put a picture on Twitter and it looked like there'd been 80 gallon of oil on the track. So I was number one going into it. I don't know.
Do you deal with that? Do you deal with that any better now that you're a bit older?
No. No, you might have all the talent in the world, but if it's a slippery surface and you plough into it, you're going on your hole, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, you as John McGuinness,
number one,
as you've got older, do you have a different approach to it than you would 10 years ago?
Like no,
you're the same.
Yeah, I've always treated stuff like that as really, really cautious through it. I've been at times been able to tread carefully through that and be fast enough to get, but I don't know, you look at sectors, some people were through there at record pace, and I understand that, they wanted to win it, and
the funny thing about the TT as well, though, is you say I'm the first man through. To be fair, the next man behind, he's got no fuck. It's the same for him, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you,
I know there might be a flag out after that, or
if I fold the front, if you're down Rencullen and I fold the front, don't go down on a massive moment. They go, oh, maybe it is a lack of adhesion flag. We'll put one out, or more, or stationary yellow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been maybe stationary yellow through. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is,
but in the same breath, though, right? If you were number 10, Hickman, and you've gone through there with no flags, you've probably, you almost said to yourself, 9 other blokes have gone through here and not had a problem.
Well, it was,
that psychological element.
It was flagged.
Oh, no, we're not saying it wasn't flagged, but I mean,
lack of adhesion, but
not waved yellows.
Well, you don't know.
No.
You know how good you are, how skillful you are. You don't know what it's like. Then it's up to you. It's like going, isn't it?
And there's always a risk of human failure to have missed something there. There's another patch of oil.
We all want it beautiful. We all want a racing line. The Seabike race was stunning. It was like a bloody an arcade game again. It was all black lines all the way through it. It was lovely because the end of practice went all right, and it was all rubbered in lovely for the Seabike race. But then we lost it all. It never come back. The track never really come back. I know there was fast laps and records here, there, and everywhere, but it still never come back to perfect conditions because the senior was green. Because the 600s was only a 2-lap race. The twins are only a 2-lap race. The twins aren't really putting rubber into the ground.
And it became 1 lap, so
1 lap. So the track was crap for the senior. To be fair, it'd been better. It's been better than that, way better. It wasn't in good shape.
What out of the TTs you've done, where would you scale that? Out of the
All right.
No, not performance wise. I mean, like, you know, track conditions wise. Just to
when
put
you're
it in
younger,
perspective, you know what I mean?
There's not many gone by, isn't it, over the years? You just nothing's jumping out at me because you know there's been a lot of years we've been lucky with weather and we've got away. 19 was horrendous. We never even got on the bike.
Jesus,
We never turned the wheel till Thursday practice. Then there were loads of 2-lap races. In 19, I never even did a pit stop.
Really?
I remember that.
Well, no one never got that far to a pit stop. But on the 600s and stockers I was on,
The 2-lap
I didn't
races.
do stockers, but there were 2-lap 600 races, so I didn't even get to a pit stop. So 19 was a shocker,
But in the same, but the mad thing is, though, I feel like the weather wasn't that bad. Now, hold the line. Now,
When? This year?
this year, no, it was bad at the wrong times.
yeah.
If you get my meaning, you know what I mean? It was like it'd be like
suppose
dry,
after-
and then it'd be like, and you're like, where the? And then
Yeah.
it would come in dry, but there was no heat in the air to dry it off, and you're like, this makes
Was it
no
cold?
sense.
It was cold over there as well.
It was for
Cold, yeah.
We're sitting in a van. You know what I mean? This time last year, we're like trying to hide from the
it's
sun,
Baltic
and
out there, right?
it's mad
Never
fresh. at the
dried
minute.
up, you know, nothing really dried. The banking's never really dried. There was, you know, water running onto the track, but I've had this conversation with somebody else. Weirdly, when you're actually on the motorcycle, it was okay.
Yeah,
When you're in the paddock, it was horrendous.
yeah.
You think, you know, when that senior come along, it was windy for the races, the smaller class races, and when as soon as I put my lid on for that senior, it just went, not a breath of wind, and warmed up. It was like, what? It was like the sun was like God was like just opened the clouds up just for the senior
He
race.
just put his paper down there, John. That's my boy. There you are. Here, just
He did though.
knock that down. He's a bit picky, our John.
Oh, yeah, do you know
I like going
why
to church is paid off, John.
It pisses me off a little bit.
Man of the Lord.
But if I'm a 30-year-old, I know I'd have another 15 years or whatever playing at it. So if I have a bad year, you have a bad year, go back next year. But for me, I'm not going to have many more years left at the TT. So the last ones that I have, I want them to be right. That's what upsets me. Like, fucking come on.
You want to end on a good one, don't you? You want to enjoy the last.
Times like that. I might have one, I might have two. I don't know, but I want them to be right. I don't want them to be. I hate going around the ring in the wind, going, "Oh fuck, I'm not enjoying this," because a lot of the times when you're on the bike in practice, you weren't really thinking about your lines and in places on the track. You were thinking about surviving.
Really?
Yeah, for me, my take on it, I might be wrong. Like, Dunlop rolls his sleeves up and he'll just punch you to death and don't give a fuck whether it's whatever, which is fine. But for me, I was always, you know what I mean? You millions of little adjustments that you shouldn't have to do. When it's nice, you go, but there it was all. I know there's the challenging things for the TT, which make it 10 times more interesting for some people. As a rider, for me, I'm like, I don't really want to.
No, but like Lee Johnson says, he says you're fighting an invisible force, you know, with the wind, especially like someone's leg size as well. But you're right on that side of things.
It just takes one little element of enjoyment out of it, and I want to enjoy and embrace every minute I've got left at TT. I ride in mint bikes, everything's mint. I don't want to be fighting wind. I just want to be going around and enjoying it. But
just on the Lee Johnson
have all that.
Lee was obviously unable to ride this year. Did a parade lap, didn't he? But he did the Manx Radio TT commentating.
Good job.
Mega.
Yeah, good job.
Absolutely mega. Yeah, so I don't know whether Lee listens, but
I'm Patrick fans.
yeah, he did. And yeah,
they do a good job. They all do a good job.
Yeah.
But like that, they've been in the seat, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're in that moment now. They know where they are on track. They know what they're going through. They know the bumpy section, and you can just. They have that feeling that you can't give to.
Well, you can't explain to it. No, you can't explain it.
You can't educate them for it as well.
No.
You can think you know, but you don't.
Yeah.
So.
Here's a question. If we put this John McGuinness back a year, what do you think he could have done? I've got an answer, but you know, it's interesting. You were saying about like, you know, I just want to, you know, the bike's mega, you're feeling mega, blah 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 blah. The ideals are 33s. Me and him had a sly little bet on the side, yeah.
Yeah, you lost me a tenner.
Sorry, mate. I'll give you.
Do ideals count?
Yeah, theoretically, yeah. Hey, we're TT riders. We always round it up. Yeah, go on. Yeah, to be fair there.
He's eating about 30 quid of the food in my house a day. So,
Yeah,
But seriously
burnt that in
though.
diesel as well.
Seriously though.
I don't think it would be much difference. I
beg the difference.
I think that we've also been working on the tyre side as well. On the Metzler side, we've made a slightly better tyre.
Now,
me.
what is your best lap, CT? 32.
132.7, yeah. 17 minutes 01, I think.
Right,
2 seconds off that I did this year.
2 seconds off that.
2
Now,
seconds. Yeah.
John McGuinness, you cut him in half. There's only a handful of colours, isn't there? Dunlop, K-Tech and Honda. Now, hold on. A little blue elephant's just turned up here and you've nearly done that.
Yeah, Maxon shock.
And a Maxon
You did
shock.
run that Maxon, yeah.
Yes, I Maxon, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what I
messing
mean?
with that Alton.
I just, no, you know when you put this concoction together,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Can't stand silly racing. You've always got to try, haven't you? I've been a creature of habit for years, and I still am. It was the first time I wore a chest protector this week, and I had to get forced to put one in because I just don't like change. But Stefan from Metzler, it's been frustrating because they've had their arse handed to them for a lot of years, really. Now Toddy's won 2. He won Superstar races, which is one of the hardest ones, and he won Senior, which is the Blue Ribbon race. So I'd like to think I was part of that happening, really.
Yeah.
Now, they've got the passion. I think they've got a bit of passion back for results, which I think they should have.
Yes. Yeah.
In racing, it pisses me off when people are just sat back. It's not a money thing, is it? For me, it's a
winning thing.
Yeah, it was. Still is.
Pride.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck me, we can make this better. And they have. So they made me a better tyre, and I think there was a few seconds of lap in that. Just because I was a bit more confident with it, and I could just put the bike where I wanted it a bit more. I think it could be better still. But the gap's been narrowed down, so we've gone forward from that. But
I tell you, we always talk about, and I think every guest is the same, and even we talk about it amongst ourselves, but every situation changes. What's your goal now? Everyone keeps feeding you bullshit. Pack in. Fuck off. We're sitting opposite a different John here. So, talking about better bikes, better tyres. Do you have a goal now? A different goal. What is that goal when you go to the TT now?
Podium.
Podium would be nice. I'd love to stand on the podium. I just smile, enjoy it. I know we got that old cliche that I enjoyed it and stuff, but I actually do now. I enjoy seeing Toddy win. I've helped Toddy a lot this year. I've helped him out a lot. I love to see Michael winning. It's just brilliant to see. I love to be in them races alongside him. With him matching Joey, then going ahead of Joey. I love the way he went about it, doing his business. He got emotional when he matched 26. Imagine the topic of conversation for him. It'd be that all the time, wouldn't it? I'm going to match Joey. Be pulling his hair out, wouldn't it?
Now, you've had those conversations.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You don't want to hear it at times. There'll be lots of conversations Michael doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Imagine it all the time. Dad, brother, uncle, this. Kid must get tortured, but I've been in these races. I've been part of their history, which I enjoy. About goals and stuff. Goal is just keep my factory ride, enjoy my riding, and perform and do all right. And the till rings as well. So I like the till ringing now and again. I'm not doing it for note.
No, wait, that's it.
But I love that connection with my sponsor as well.
The thing is,
I've got a new sponsor. I've got a new sponsor. The Crown Prince of Bahrain sponsors me.
Say that.
The Crown Prince of Bahrain sponsors me. The Prince of Bahrain. Yeah.
Okay. Side note.
The little crest on the top of your helmet.
Yeah,
that's the Royal Crest of Bahrain on top of my helmet.
Right. Side story on Chasin the Racin. How the fuck did that come about? Well, once upon a time.
No, because
Because I'm John McGuinness.
No, because not so much that.
That's amazing.
Because we're nice people.
He's laughing. For people on audio alone, he's smiling like, no, come on,
take this all you want.
No.
Like, 2022 comes to the TT, the Crown Prince of Bahrain, under the radar with Agostini. He come with Stefano Domenicali, who runs Formula 1. He was at TT in 2022. And I got the heads up off Mark Webber. Mark Webber's a good mate of mine.
Please, I can just imagine the text. Don't fuck this up, John.
I could show you
LOL.
I could show you
some emojis and shit.
But he said, just look after him. But like, I didn't, not for anything else. I just look after him. So Ewan looked after him, took him around the paddock. And I saw him at Formula 1 at Silverstone. I watched the race in his hospitality suite because he owns McLaren. So, and then he invited us to the Bahrain Formula 1 race. So me and the missus and all the kids went to Bahrain. So,
class.
And what he gave us, you can't buy.
No.
There's lots of things I can't tell you about as well. So,
understandable.
Sort of nice things that happened in his palace and things like that. Wild things, which is, you wouldn't really...
this autobiography. This next one's going to be good.
And then as a thank you, I put the crest on my helmet. On my... not on that helmet.
However can I hear Your Majesty?
Yeah. So I just... as things evolved, if you look behind it, it says... it's like a tourism thing for Bahrain, like Visit Bahrain. So it took me a few quid.
That's class.
So... And he came to the TT this year again. He flew over for the day.
He said the weather's shite, I'm going home.
He watched the Superstar race. Sorry, Super Twin race. He watched the kiddies bike race and then Superstar race. Superstar race was that one where you got shafted, I think. That one where you had one hand on the podium.
The kiddies race.
That was Superstar race. It was cancelled.
Just blends it in, doesn't it?
The best thing is, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, but I actually enjoy all that side of the bit of business. I don't want to call it business. It's fun to me. I love opening little doors, meeting people, and other people just won't have any time for anybody. I love people. I like people, and meeting new people. And you wouldn't know him from Adam. He's walked past you.
Yeah,
and he's one of He's not going to start.
He's royal. He's royalty. Yeah.
And he's wandering around in the paddock at the TT, loving it. He's got his TT Plus on his phone. He's watching every sector. He's watching everything. He's absolutely dialed into the tent.
That's class.
Knows everybody, all the riders. So goals. It's just little things like that. Really enjoy it. New bike, developing the new bike, new teammate, get to ride, get to test. Love working with Dean. Dean's been ace.
I was going to say, tell us about that, because that's a complete big change for him, isn't it? Going from where he's been for so long.
Absolutely, spade is a spade. Black and white. No bullshit. Tell you as it is. And I'm saying with him, I would never spin him a yarn, and he won't spin me a yarn.
Were you able to help each other?
Yes, overlaying some data, looking at what I'm doing. I'm learning off him, really. But we've both got the same comments about the bike, which is nice. We've got some... similar sort of problems with the Honda, some of the little issues it's got, and we're both trying to get that fixed. And you're better off being on the same page. I mean, I can't beat him, but I want to see him win. I was behind part of them coming to Honda, as a deal. So, I want him to. I'd love to see him get into the other guy. I mean, he's fast anyway. Do you know what I mean? But give him a right good run for the money, so which he is.
I must ask about in regards to Honda, from yet again outside looking in, because that's all I'm doing. But initially, when that lineup got announced, I'm talking BSB and Rhodes, that was a busy shop. I mean, incredibly busy. And to be blunt, how are things been going? Has it been?
I thought they'd bitten off a bit more than they could chew, to be honest. So it's Jack on the 600 to get that. Andrew, Tommy.
These are all winners Dean, as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we started off with a few issues, a few breakdowns, a few little teething problems with the new bike, and couple of tumbles at Navarra, and quick shift of braking on Tommy, and a little bit of frustration in the team. Jack's doing a great job. We're still developing that 600. It's slightly underpowered, I would say, to some of the stuff at the front, but he's rolling his sleeves up. And, he's boxing away in the corner and doing his best. But now Tommy's found Tommy's a Sunday morning man. Tommy Bridewell is a racer. He will not lie down, will he? He loves an elbow looking handlebar tussle, and started off bad, but then he's regularly on the podium and he's right in the hunt for the championship, isn't he? So it started off rocky. Yeah, not gonna lie.
Did that make you nervous? When a few of the, I'm trying to be diplomatic. There was
no, Chase the Racing. Don't worry about that, son. Just deliver it.
There was a few issues on there that I think had a lot of people saying the new Honda. Were you nervous? Were you thinking fucking hell?
I was a little bit nervous. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I was only nervous if they went wrong. As the bike was, when the bike's going, she has been now. It's good. Northwest was good. I had a clutch problem in that last Superbike race, but it was hard on the Superstock bikes. We only had Superstock bikes there, and
of course I did.
We had no Superbikes, and Dean kept his gob shut and rode as hard as he could and did a brilliant professional job.
Because Dean broke the Superstock record, but it doesn't count because he did it in the Superbike race.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's because obviously, Davey Todd just absolutely howled away on that BM, on that side of things. But you could hear the difference between the bikes. As far as Dean actually turned the splits off, and Davey swings off the things. You could actually hear it in the bikes.
Doesn't he? Davey's relying on a lot of that.
But it works.
Well, he's just found a package on it that's right.
He's in a happy place, and we said this.
Davey's found that.
Yeah.
He always was. He's an annoying little bastard because he's got talent coming out of his turds. He's just the way he is. He's just different gravy, I'm afraid, whether they like it or not. He's just, you're not going to jump on his bike and do what he does at the minute. He's just got a feeling for a motorbike that's gifted. It's simple as that. Like Michael Dunlop, he's naturally gifted, super naturally talented.
Who's the most successful non-talented person you know?
Most successful non-talented.
No, you know what I mean.
Unnatural.
The one that's had to work it the hardest.
Probably Uchi.
Shut up, man. Really?
Maybe. I don't think Uchi's as naturally talented as.
That's interesting.
Or maybe Guy Martin. Well, I don't think Guy was just a fucking nutter, wasn't he?
Well, Guy even said that, didn't he? He said, "I'm not naturally. I've had to work hard at doing it. I'm not naturally talented."
What
I don't know. I could get on the bike in my heyday or whatever and have a few little issues and work around them and stuff. Well, Hutchie needs everything to be right. Hutchie's won 8 TTs with 2 legs and 8 TTs with 1.5 legs. He works hard at it under the radar. He did when he was at the top of his game. He was figured it out in different ways. Maybe a lot of respect for Ian that way.
Was there anyone there this year that surprised you?
Josh Brooks, maybe in the senior. Jumped out my skin when he passed me. I didn't expect him to pass me. I thought I might be old.
It's 207 mile an hour. It's going to make
I had a bad pit stop. I lost 18 seconds in the pitch. There's an issue with the back wheel, and I lost a load of time. So probably, the pace he was going, he probably would have caught me, but I didn't expect him to catch me. And fuck me when he passed me down the Sulby Straight and nearly sucked the stickers off side of me. But he would have been coming off Upland fell harder than he was going faster than me. I'm not saying. I'm just shocked. It was really fast in practice, wasn't he? And then he did 132 odd in practice or something. Then in first race, he might have had a problem. He must have had a problem.
Because in the stock race, he did a 31, but he was quite low down in the pecking order.
Yeah, I beat him in that, I think. But then the senior, but he's a total.
I beat him in the stock race.
There was one race he had an issue in the pits.
That must have been that race.
He had an issue in the race.
I think I can go and win a Superbike BSB race, and next week be not
struggling for a top 10.
Yeah, I can never. Lovely bloke, lovely wife, extremely talented. 41, is he? So is he a bit older?
He's
Won't be far off that, will he?
So, but for him to go from there to what he did to finish second in the senior, I was like,
Our signage is dropping off, sorry.
Fixed. Figured it out there, yeah. Sorry, by the way, before I interrupt, thank you to OMG, Bennetts, JCT Truck and Trailer, because we just jumped straight in with a fart.
I thought we were going to do them all at the end.
Yeah, we're going to do it again, but I'm just going to put an interlude in that side.
Woodcote Events.
For sponsoring the episode, so there we go. So let's go straight back at it. But we were talking about
since 2008.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk about he came straight to work.
Well, you got straight off the TT and went down to Brands Hatch for
3 o'clock in the morning. I got to bed.
We're going to talk about that in a second, but I tell you what, while we've got the flow of things, I must go back very slightly. Hutchie, did he expect more?
This year's TT?
Yeah.
I would probably think in his own head he would have expected a bit more, but I like the way his perseverance. He just seeded at number 4. He didn't care. He just loaded his bike, slotted into 3rd or 4th on the start line every practice night, and just went and rode round, and he got past. And the frustration would be tough at times, but he's just not confident. He just wants to build his confidence back. It's a building year, isn't it? It's a building year, and he could have. Clive was happy with that. Clive was happy to see him ride again. I was happy to see him ride again.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
I think everyone was happy to see him back.
You sat on the mountainside on your bicycle having a stroke, nearly dying, and you're riding your bike a year later. Then you can only commend the fella. I mean, I got me and go back a long way. We don't seem to have the same, not friendship. We just don't speak as much as we used to do, and I don't understand why. Just don't have that same connection. We were like pretty inseparable for a bit, and he's gone his own way a little bit, and just sometimes quite hard to watch because he's a lot better than that. But
you know what I think that's how I felt about it. When you think this lad has won umpteen TTs, you know what I mean, he always comes back and fighting that, and there's almost something.
Did you speak to him afterwards?
Spoke to him a bit.
Was he disheartened, or was he
really,
still realistic about it all?
No, I'm just gonna ride. It's a building year.
Yeah, but after when he got his results and
no,
because Clive's fairly horizontal with stuff like that, and he's very pragmatic about it. And
Clive will pull a positive out of everything.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, there's 8th, 11th, whatever. He'll just back up you all the ways. He's shook his hand and built him the best bike he possibly could, and whether there's other issues there, I don't know. I just tried to. I didn't go and see Clive as much as I normally do because it's going wrong. You just see, not going wrong. It's just something was not clicking on all cylinders. So
something like that's. I'm sorry, but that has got to be that.
I say
there's no other way to put it. I think that's got to be the worst year in history for yet again. My opinion, shoot me down only one, but you're thinking this is the Padgett family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and you're thinking. No one's immortal, and you're thinking, I'm just hoping it comes back with a resurgence because, Connor left.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think we have to mention the Connor thing because it's a bit of a sort of a TT roundup, and it's.
And you told lads sit together, don't you? So
do you know what? We said it early on, and we fair play to Connor for making a decision. Get it out. Beautiful.
Nice. Have you come back with a bit of COVID or something like that? I think everyone's coming around with a bit of cough and sniff.
Start inspecting it.
Do you not inspect it?
No.
I inspect it. I don't know why you.
No.
Sounds like a Matty Ferguson firing up there.
I've been Connor's teammate for a lot of years. I've rode with Connor in World Endurance. I've rode with Connor together in the factory on the team. He's delivered some fantastic results. Podiums everywhere. Podium at Ulsters. Podium Northwest. In the wet, dry, damp at Northwest, the kids got a lot of feel for a motorbike, and I just found it hard to watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I found it really, really difficult to see. It's always his birthday when the TT's on, so he had a barbecue down, and he was in good spirit, and sort of before it all started, and for whatever reason, I don't know, it's not happened. And Clive, I spoke to Clive on the start line for the 600s because I wasn't in it, and I said, I'm so sorry, it's all, I hope you're all right. So I'm sound, which in Clive's way, he said, I give Connor a cuddle and wished him all the luck. So, it wasn't any aggro between them. If he's not enjoying it and doesn't want to be there, that's fine. Just shake hands and walk away. That's the best thing to do, especially at TT.
Takes a lot though, doesn't it?
Takes a lot of balls. You think it's going to turn around, but if you're in a dark hole, for whatever reason you're in that dark hole, you ain't going to fix it.
It's a funny place because I remember having a conversation with Sean Anderson about when I decided I wasn't going to go back, and he said, I think there's definitely people that are on that grid that don't really want to be there but don't know how to walk away. It's like being in an abusive relationship almost. You want to say, enough's enough, I'm just fucking terrified, I don't want to do this anymore, but you don't know how to not do it.
I wonder who they are. I wonder which riders they are. But I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's Hollywood, it's TT, it's a bit of TV, you're a legend for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to give you a reach round, think you're a god, all that lot. But the actual...
And that's why there are lads on there, the grid, that don't want to be there, but they don't,
right, mate.
So for me, massive hats off to Connor to be able to say, do you know what, this isn't right, I'm not happy, my head's not in the right space.
But to be blunt, where would you put Connor next year?
Bike or position-wise?
No, bike. I'm sorry, but this is Connor Cummins, 133 on a stocker. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you...
It could be good to see Taz put 2 bikes out. It wouldn't be the first time they've run 2 bikes.
But a lot of teams aren't putting out double bikes.
No, they're not.
But then you think in the same breath, it's a bit like, well, you reckon?
That's where he needs to go.
Yeah.
What the...
WTF.
Yeah, I mean, you've got...
Well recovered, by the way. Well done. Nice. I like that. Well done, lads.
All about the sponsors. We'll have OMG on his helmet next year.
He's going to put a crown on his head in a second there.
I'll be putting a bigger crown on my head than Matt. He paid me. Something like, it's a tight, small little team with the right people around. It's 2 stockers, which James is exactly in that place where he wants to be. He's happy to go on the pace he's going at. The team boss is happy him going at that pace, doesn't want him to stick his neck out.
Did Hillier get into the 33s this year? No, 32s.
I don't think so. I don't think he did, no. But
like
a couple of great battles with him. When I came into I saw him at the end of the scene and he's like, whoa, another one down, and little conversation we had between, no media, nobody else heard it, and we always have that conversation after the scene if he's there, and I was like, relief and all that, so it's really, he's in a sweet spot because he's in a sweet little team. No pressure from the teams, no pressure from friends, family, or like that, all the mechanics, and they've got 2 bikes, probably 6 sets of wheels, 6 sets of new discs. You don't need 20 million discs and 5,000 engines and 80 million quid. You just need a gazebo and the right people around it.
James is always very open about how fucking terrifying and the stress and all the rest. He's really, really open about it, isn't he?
He's probably the most open rider.
Well, I remember he's there's one of the interviews that they had with him after he got on the podium, and he just said it's just not normal.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing
15,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
We was on it, so how we can do that legally, I don't know.
Yeah.
How the hell we can do that? You're allowed to do that. It's just beyond. But I love this. I love his outlook on it. He's happy to finish where he's finishing, and that's exactly where I am at my stage in my life. I'm happy to finish where I'm finishing. If I was 18 doing 127s, I'd go, do you know what? I'm wasting my time here. I'm not really enjoying it, and stick James Hyde on it or something or whatever. I don't know, whoever the next young kid is. But, James is mint. So, and the team completely understand where it is. They all go, they have crack, they go for dinner. Alan's loving it. You can't take that away from him, can you? It's a road race. It's the biggest road race in the world, isn't it? Well, last thing he wants to feel a load of pressure.
Puts him in the same bracket that Davey's in with how he is with his guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just
Davey wants to win. He's 29, is he?
29, yeah.
29, he wants to win. love it. I want to win at that age. You know, I won my first TT when I was.
Did you
7?
Did you expect Davey to win?
I expect him to be in a battle for the win. Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't. That.
The senior win was a shock, but this is now yet again.
That wasn't a shock for me. Go on, I bought it in.
No. Why do you?
The Superstock race was for me. Because. Well, no.
Interesting. I'm the opposite way around.
Last lap, 3-lap race.
That's
Dunlop versus Metzler. Hickey versus Toddy.
Yep.
Toddy turning him over on Hickey's strongest bit over the mountain.
Yep.
I thought, Hickey might. Well, I wasn't in the race myself, but looking back, I thought, Hickey's going to do him over the mountain here.
Both on BMWs.
Both BMs, so
yeah.
Fairly even match.
You know, if I'd have had me tenner, I'd probably put a tenner on
Hickey.
Yeah. From a Ramsey hairpin to the finish line, going off past.
Yeah.
But Davey passed me on that lap. He passed me, then he passed Coward Jamie. So he got a bit of traffic.
That's
so it's like, I don't know. I'm in the senior. Peter made a mistake.
And then Dunlop's clutch. But the mad thing is, the armchair, like, because Davey fought that hard for that stock win, it doesn't question his other wins from now on. If that makes it. If you're getting a fight with us in the bloke, and then one bloke's arm got tied behind his back, he squared up, clean against Dunlop, Hickman, and he won.
Yeah,
he won.
He beat the outright lap record holder in the class. He brought the lap record in as well, and Hickey did it on the last lap. He did the 1:36 whatever. So your safe money will be on Hickey.
Yeah.
No disrespect to my mate Davey.
No, but
but for me, I'd have gone. Oof.
He would have on that side of things, but when you come to the senior, it was just
wow.
Yeah, what? Wow. Like what? Like, I broke down on the side of the road, but you just listen to this, going, what the fuck? Like, okay, I tell you what, hold on, we're jumping some characters here. Dunlop leading at 20 seconds, Superbike race. I broke down and I'm watching. I've never done so much watching in my fucking life. And, like, I'm sitting there in the hedgerow, like, listen to this, going, fucking, they're breaking on me. It's the fat pilot they're trying to hold on to. That's the problem. But it's like the Superbike race.
I was gutted for him there because
20-second lead.
Yeah,
come on.
And that situation never came back for him in the super stock or the in the senior. Where he could have that sort of lead on the big bike.
Easy saying it now, like you say, hindsight's a great thing, but that was a major fuck up.
Yeah.
Mr. Arai. I don't even know who did it. I'm not.
It was one of the Arai technicians.
Why rush it?
Yeah.
Why rush it with that big lead? Second pit stop, you're completely governed by the fuel. You're just being like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not. I mean, it's easy kicking and selling bollocks. I was told to go easy on the clutch in 2004 in the R1, and I came into the stop box with a fucking 40-second lead after 2 laps, and went accelerated out the stop box to my fuel stop, fill it with fuel and give it big licks off the line again and burn the clutch out.
After being told. Yeah.
After being told. I did a week R7 clutch in them R1s. Anyway, I'm going back again, fucking 20 years, but...
No, but it's a good example.
We've made mistakes, and I'm saying, should have not been in that position, but, I mean, the pair of them were running like men possessed on them last 2 laps. They passed me off together. I was like, fuck. So actually, in the first race, Toddy passed me, and I did a couple of my best sectors following him from most of the lap, to be honest. But when them two passed me on that,
right,
not a chance.
When you physically see like Davey in front of you doing like a 35, and you just said you got with him.
Yeah.
Were you sitting there going, "Fuck, this is a 35"? People don't get that. We've all been there, don't you? And you hear, it doesn't feel like that. Have you dropped your ass again?
No, it's my breath. I was burped.
That's fucking. That's chicken going back on revenge.
That's chicken.
It's just
garlic.
Just proves that I'm talking shite to you all the way. I love it.
What's that? Still Arioli.
but like
he had some Hilliers chili sauce today as well in a pot noodle. He nearly ruined his life.
I
Unreal.
thought you two were like trying to grab it.
Him and you are going, I probably wouldn't have put that much in. After I put it all in, I stirred it in. I thought, well, it's a pot noodle, isn't it? It'll absorb and
Change colour.
concentrate. Fucking
What was that drink you gave me? You know, in the paddock? Becky just popped her head up round the corner and went, "You all right?" I'm like, "Why? What's the matter?" And I had another go at
that
it.
French poaching.
I have no idea, but you just went, "Have a go at that." I'm like, "What's the matter with you?" And you just looked at me with
some French.
Mate, you just looked at me with like, "You all right, Dom?" I'm like, "What's the matter?"
You've obviously got some sort of weird asbestos mush or something that doesn't affect you. We'll try it with some of this Hillier sauce in a bit if you want.
I'm up for that. Try it. Let's
We did have
roll.
a collaboration actually at the TT. If you want to buy some, we've got some left.
Very nice.
Some McGuinness honey sauce and some James Hillier death sauce. That makes you
Yeah, it's not that spicy.
it makes you unhappy for a while.
Fucking hell. I'm bleeding out my eyeballs. Savage.
Absolutely love it. I tell you, where the hell did I took us off track there. Where the hell were we? Where were we?
Who knows?
Nah, this
What's
one.
going on?
You chasing
Yes.
chasing
thank
Toddy.
you very much. Toddy, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Did you know that?
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, I thought to myself, there was a couple of bits where I was like, just dragging out of my comfort zone a bit. And,
Did he look like he was out of his No.
No.
That's interesting.
Strange. Toddy turns in early. Different style to Hickey and Dunlop. He turns in early. Yeah. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but he does turn in early. Where like Hickey opens a lot of corners up a lot more than Davey.
When you think on the Padgett Hondas last year, he was doing 32s. Did you ever see him on track at that 32 pace?
No.
A 32 to a 35.
Yeah.
That's
It's a big jump.
that's fucking
It's a big jump.
massive.
I was talking to him in the senior when that standing start line was 35, I think. Or just
It was,
under 35.
yeah.
And he said I was cruising. I've been in that feeling before. I've done 30s and 31s and 29s long time ago, and I felt like I've been cruising. And I mean that with the greatest respect.
No.
You know, the goalposts are just moving as they go along. You know, I've gone to they've gone and they're just taking to the next level. But there wasn't many pictures or video footage of Toddy in many mistakes, was he?
No.
I mean, many shapes.
What?
You know, you got to say that.
He didn't have Josh Brooks mountain curbs and all sorts.
Yeah,
But like you say,
yeah.
Toddy was just.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I spent his parked next to me and he was in a good place. I think the Ducati was a bit of a handful, looked a bit unstable at the front.
Are you talking about But the first couple of nights, he was very open about that. Davey was. He
I
was
still
very.
think it could have been better. It's really hard to rock up with a
brand new bike.
twins, everything's so different. To find the spot, especially not as much practice, which I should have got, and he did a good job, solid job on that. But yeah, 32 to 35 is a big jump, and if anybody can do it, it's just magical. It's just different gravy. It's just different gravy. You know, they are. And even Dean did his personal best lap times.
You went fast this year,
35,
didn't you?
Yeah.
I went slightly quicker, but that was on the my ideals on the stock are a 32. You know what I mean? It's like, but we only had 4, 5, 6. It's only 7 laps on the stocker.
How was the feeling when you got shafted onto off the podium?
Royally.
Did you feel like
No, you know,
no lube?
no. And I'd say no, mate, no. But you know what? It's one of those like you talk like in that second race. It was simple. Like I fucked
I think
up.
morally you got it.
I fucked up the first lap. You know what I mean? It's like went out in the morning that super sport race, and I only got to Caramel, and she dropped the valve on her, and then like it just
Didn't get in the flow of the day or whatever.
No, you know what was that? But then I beat myself up thinking, they've all had 20, laps of getting on the pace. And I tell you what, I'm so Jamie Cowards had a mega TT, and when you look at his Facebook, and I think you look at a lot of people's Facebooks, riders wise, and they're all like, I've left the island with mixed emotions this year. Jamie was one of those. He had an injury that didn't allow him into the senior.
Got tendonitis, didn't he? I don't know what it is, but that's what on the radio.
What is tendonitis?
I don't know. Should we Google it?
Google it.
Chris Kinley just said he's got tendonitis.
Is that why he just pulled out on the
Tendonitis
mountain?
Yeah.
is an ear thing, isn't it?
That's tinnitus.
Tinnitus. Ah, near.
So he
Come
just
on, fuck off.
He just pulled out. He
Yeah,
pulled
with
out
his
the
arm.
mountain. Yeah, but he was going like it wasn't. He didn't start slowing down. He just like he give up. Like on.
Tendonitis is the swelling, inflammation of a tendon.
So he just
There we
comes. He just comes because like he was the helicopter shot showed him
Pain,
I think Michael
stiffness,
just
and
passed
swelling
him
of
and
the
then
joint.
He
There
just
you are.
put his hand up.
But like,
Shame, isn't it?
but then like the other side of that is like he told.
I hope I'm not. If I'm wrong now, I'm going
That
to sound a
sounds
right
right,
twat. But I'm because I think it was Chris Kinley that interviewed Dean, and Dean said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
right.
is he not? Is he not? Is he not joining that?" And he said, "No, it's tendonitis." And he went, "Oh, never heard that before." So
No, but like,
yeah,
But even so, like when you think he taught like Dean on that Super Sport, like you say, slightly underpowered. You know, when you compare it against everything else in British at the time, like Jamie dug in for that second lap. I parked up and watched it, and he did not.
No, he went past him a couple of times, didn't he?
He did
he
not.
back?
That's what I mean. You're thinking, fucking go on, Jamie, and he banged out at 28.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, go on, son. And then you're thinking,
He's quite underrated, isn't he?
I would say he goes under the radar, doesn't he?
but then.
Turns up and does that.
Yeah, but in the same breath, like KTS have pumped, the last couple of years he's done British, he's done
he's
the
done a bit,
Spanish
I
testing.
suppose.
But this is the thing, it always pisses me off, this natural talent thing, because I don't have it. And it does. It pisses me off because I don't have it, and I refuse to. Like Jeremy McWilliams is one of my heroes in racing because he was always very open, and like.
I don't think he was very naturally talented.
No, not at all. But it's
Fucking nutter.
But Roy Armstrong, one of my mates, he said, "Look, Dominic, keep an eye, like look into his history," and he really wasn't, but he could dig in and get it. But then you look at what Toddy's done. You look at Dean Harrison. Like these are like naturally lads, but they've had the investment behind them. And I think Jamie, deservingly so, he's put the investment in and he's married it up with his work ethic.
Yeah.
But like going back to it, it's like he dug in and he's doing like 128 mile an hour laps on the 600. He's left with that high. But then you look down the rest of the grid, going into that Super Sport race, everyone was absolutely on a song and a charm. And I've definitely learned from the experience because I immediately sat there looking at lap times and I was defeated before I got going. I'm like, fuck, they are up to rhythm.
What do you think that fucked you then when you went in the twin race? Your head was already dropped down.
100% my fault. Like Graham Hanna's Super Twin there is a fucking weapon. Mate, the best bike I've always wanted to race one, and thanks to John and like the Bros engineering lot, they put me on that bike and I loved every second of it. But like that first lap, I missed gears and everything like that, and then I got in a rhythm, but then I got held up by Davey Todd, and then I got held up by Josh Brooks, and I'm going fucking. I had to pinch myself. I'm going, like the pattern's mega. Had a little bit of the legs on them, but in the same breath, when we entered the corners.
Yeah, you still got to ride it.
But then, like, came up and like you say, Jordan,
I've won a couple of TTs with Graham Hanna's bikes, yeah.
There we are. Like I've never met the man.
04 600 Northwestern TT on his bike.
Fucking hell.
Still got the bike, give me the bike.
Really? Fucking hell. We can have a word with him, see if he gives that pattern.
He might do.
No,
Just
well, he
keep nice.
fucking... No, but I tell like,
What?
I give him a ring. I dropped my message on Facebook and said, can I give you a ring?
Yeah.
Thank you, personally. What a gentleman.
Yeah, he's a good bloke.
Well, I've never met him, mind.
Yeah,
And he
he's a
obviously
good
hasn't
bloke.
heard of me because he wouldn't let me ride his bike, let's face it, you know what I mean? But like, someone like John's had to stick his neck out and go, look, Dominic will do something on it. And you're thinking,
He didn't break it.
didn't blow it up? No, you know what I mean? But it's like,
What was that first TT podium feel like then?
fuck it, mate.
I thought you were going to do something. I thought I was going to see a backflip, new streak or something.
Mate.
You were pretty bunged out. You didn't say much. did you?
Mate, I tell you,
Just that,
have you noticed my whole team was like weren't there? I was looking for. I was going to get an Ian Lofthouse moment. You know what? Like
They're at
Ian
the
Lofthouse,
tent. They're all at the tent. Till you cross the line. Because I was watching them.
right?
Your missus and everybody. Because I'd been in the garage talking to the lads and I was just listening and thinking, it's going to get his first podium here. And I seen the whole group of people when you cross the line. Obviously, it was big cheers and everything. So it's all right. It wasn't under the radar from them.
No, but like the mad, like when I got pointed at them because I saw P3 plus
wasn't
3, and I'm going up, going, no. like, you know, pulled in and like Dunlop slots there, and then you had Hickman's lot there, and I'm there by myself going, is this what they do? Like
waiting.
like you know what I mean? I'm like that going, well, Jamie's in front, and I'm like, are they waiting for, like, you know, like I'm like.
Well, you're number 9, so you...
No, but even so, it's the team.
Yeah, they're waiting for Brown. When they're waiting for Mike Brown.
It was me, Jamie, then Mike.
Yeah, well, Jamie would have been in at number 2 and up the thing, wouldn't he? Or were you waiting with Jamie?
No. Well, I just pulled in and no one was there, and my arse fell out, and I'm just sitting there going. Everyone remembers the dickhead. Like, it's still a YouTube famous clip. You know when he thought he won the race, and everyone's still ploughed on, carried on going, and he's waving at the crowd and stuff, and I just sat there going, "Say fuck all till you know." And I literally I just sat there like that going, and I'm looking up. Everyone's going like that. I'm going, any second now, I'm going to get Paul Phillips going, fuck off. like, you know what I mean?
I've been there. It's not good.
But you know what I mean? I'm going.
It's like looking at the old ice cream, isn't it? Then
you're just like that going.
I was well jealous because I like the podiums, and last time I were on podium, it was up like a bit of carry on up the thing, back down, and then we'll see you later. But you stand behind you to your helmet, then you go up now, and it's loads more fucking razzmatazz. Then you go down to in that park. I want to go in that park on that stage. You know, the crowd there. I want to do that.
Oh, fucking hell. That's
about what I do.
You will, man.
Well,
why the fuck not?
I keep trying.
Fucking good lad. That's what I do, yeah.
Keep trying for a bit, but yeah, I'd love to do that bit.
But I had no idea.
Something special about being on podium at a TT.
I didn't expect it. Like, you know, when you want something,
it's got all Peter Hickman on us now. It's got a dashboard full of silver trophies.
Yeah, he has.
Mate, they're safer in me van than me house. I'll get robbed at my place, man. You know what I mean? Jesus,
4 silver reps on dashboard.
How many got this year? How many you got this year?
I need a bigger dashboard. I only got 3.
Yeah, fuck you, John. I've got 4. You know what I mean?
Head's
about
gone now.
111. No, what have we got? 100. First start was 109. 111 starts and 92 finishes I've had.
Fuck,
it's not a bad record, is it?
92.
You ever given a replica away?
Podiums. I sold one replica, the 127.68 mile an hour lap record one from 04.
You remember? It's incredible, isn't it?
127.68, yeah. I sold it in the for the Gus Scott charity at Amadeus nightclub in Northallerton.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll give 1,500 quid to have it back.
And someone outbid you?
Yeah. They did, yeah.
Do you know who has it?
No.
Really?
Don't know who has it, no. There is one.
That's pretty
one
high.
of mine's missing, which is 127.68, yeah. Gus got killed that year, didn't he? So, well, 05 he got killed, so I just put that thing in, yeah. So,
fucking hell.
It's the only one missing. But I must have 130 odd or something replicas.
Holy fuck! How many have you ever given any of yours away?
No,
You haven't got any.
I ain't got enough to give away.
The Manx Grand Prix ones are about that big, aren't they?
Yeah,
Very different.
they are
aren't they?
tiny. Yeah,
They got like a little. The winner gets a little globe on it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Don't know, they're at my mum's house.
It's
That's
about
right.
in Shire. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Aye, because one's
The Ulster Grand Prix trophies are the worst ones ever.
with the
It wasn't
plastic.
a trophy, they were a fucking medal. I'm not joking. It was a ribbon with a medal like that, and I'm not joking. It was like pressed steel. You like when them things you get in a toy thing, you go and just come out of them things. 50 pencils. Fastest track in the world, absolutely busting your ring, and you got a medal. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. You know, fastest road race in the world, allegedly.
one of the best trophies I
Fucking
ever got in my life was
embarrassing.
I finished 8th at Macau. You should have seen the
Yeah,
sight.
big tin
It was
drum.
honestly, it was fucking like made in China, obviously. But there you go. But it was bigger than this Chasin the Racin sign. And the best thing is Hickman got 3rd, but then he got like no, he didn't get 3rd. Anyway,
He'll have won it.
He'll have won it,
It'll have been like a gold one.
no, but it was a
So,
total. It was
a different shape.
It was
thing,
tiny though, and there's me with me 8th going fuck off. Like, it was fucking massive. This thing, you know what I mean? Fucking brilliant.
Got a few of them over years.
I gave mine to Ben from
Try
RC
and shove
Express.
it in your bag, and by the time it gets home, it's fucking bent to death, and that trying to wedge socks and shit in it.
Are you doing Macau this year?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh, it's on the cards. It's definitely on the radar, yeah.
With Honda?
Yeah, maybe with a Honda, yeah. Maybe my own one, my own stocker or their stocker, or we've got to find a bit of budget to run it, so it's all down to...
If you want me to spanner for you again, you know where I am.
You come in?
He is now.
Give me a job.
Official. Zoe, if you're watching, it's official. It's happening.
It's a real calm event. Nothing happens.
It is in a minute, but there you go. But I'll tell you what.
Becky went in 19. I rode Birdie's Ducati last time I went.
Fuck, you ran out of fuel, didn't you?
No, it wouldn't. It broke down on the warm-up lap.
That was it,
Well, it wouldn't rev over 6. I couldn't believe it, because my pace was P2, race pace and that, and ended up...
And Davo got on there.
Davo on podium, yeah.
Speaking of Davo, he was a lucky boy to get away with that one. Did we see that? Did you see that?
Footage of it, yeah.
Fuck.
Hellfire.
In your opinion, what happened to our audio listeners?
I think he's just been unlucky. Unlucky, hasn't he? Just he's not done. He wasn't offline. He didn't look like he did anything wrong, but he just went into off the Richter scale tank slapper. But whether it's good luck or a bit of judgment, he got it steered round to the left and skidded up the middle of the road. Amazing.
Jesus, and it was just that's the thing about.
There's a few. I mean, probably not a great topic, but nobody got killed this year. Which
we were discussing this before.
I was going to mention it earlier, and I thought,
this is how bad I am with facts, and I get a lot of shit for it, understandably. But someone was telling me, and Joe's corrected this, but someone said to me that's 40 years since the last. There hasn't been a death at the TT.
Yeah, wasn't there one recently?
Yeah, no, I thought
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, like 20. I want to say like 2013 or 2014. No one got killed that year.
Because last year we had one. That was Raul Torres.
Yeah.
That was
Aberdeen.
Was that? Yeah, Aberdeen. Yeah, going in. Yeah. But
Alpine.
Alpine. But even, like you say though, like the fact that we've come away with arguably some.
You seem to
worse conditions.
The sidecar lads last year as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You seem to just expect something like that to happen, don't you? I mean, two newcomer sidecars through wall at Bishop's Court, they got away. They didn't. A lot of handlers. I don't know how bad he is. Hope he's okay.
Jack Petrie. Yeah,
that's right. That was that second.
I think he's pretty second hand, but he's he's
get well soon, mate.
Yeah.
I think that kid was off at
Bungalow.
That Case's.
Yeah.
Bungalow.
Someone was off at Bungalow.
Case that left before the veranda.
The left before the veranda.
Yeah, Marcus Simpson.
He was up road there.
Broke his fingers.
Yeah, I saw him on last day with fingers in his hand or something.
Fuck, he's lucky considering that like that. But like you say about
like up there a few years ago, didn't he?
Oh,
Scottish lad.
Adam
Lyons, yeah. But then, like you say, to be able to leave the TT, it's such a weird, when you do like Facebook posts and everything, and you've got to do that now because you've got to keep sponsors happy, and it's I always find it very difficult the TT because at the end of the day, we all know the risks when we go race it, but then it's like when you're sitting there going, I've had a great TT, and then I'm not naive to that, but it's
a relief to get everyone piece selfishly for yourself. Obviously, there's other people, going to be a few bumps and scrapes, but it's, I don't know. I think getting off that subject, I just thought, I thought there were record crowds on the track, into the Craig. Into all the vantage.
I was going to ask you both,
6 or 7 deep everywhere, bottom of Bristol.
They've put a big push into. I don't sound a wanker.
The TT Plus is incredible. That live feed is unbelievable. For 20 quid, whatever it is, the best 20 is cheaper than a packet of fags in it. 2 weeks flat out live, up to date, bosh. Interviews your riders, have heli shots and all that. Fuck me, helicopter live up there all the time filming it. I mean, best footage you'll ever see ever in the world. Netflix movie coming on, Brad Pitt kicking around or whatever, and that Channing Tatum getting involved. It's good news, isn't it? It's in a good spot, the old TT. Like it or lump it. I know everybody, like you said, the keyboard warriors, should have done this, fuck the parades off, do this, run a 6-lap senior, fuck me, Everybody's an armchair clerk of the course. I mean, fucking you do job then.
Fucking no way.
You wouldn't want Gary Thompson's job, would you?
What can you do? What can you do? You get advice off the fucking Met Office, you get advice from the airport, you just Next thing you know, there's a pile up on the road. It's just, you just can't win. You can't win.
I seen someone had put, one of the keyboard warriors had put something about Clark of the course as fucking killing the job, and he's never ridden a bike before, and I thought,
fucking dick.
Ride the bike, you go and have a go at that. I wouldn't thank you for it. It's
everyone at Chasin the Racing, fuck you. I'm telling you that for now. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, man?
It's just like I say. I think
it's the people that have the brain capacity to then write that publicly.
It's so they are so conscientious to the riders. It's I've had one. I've had a couple like me all week at TT.
Yeah, but why don't they just think it? Why can they not think it? Why do they have to think it, then write it, then send it?
I reacted back because I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know.
I said to you got too invested in that.
I did, but I want to know. I'm interested to know what the
fucking problem is. Yeah.
Because, well, I shouldn't. I'm lost for words about it all, but I just.
But like you say,
very, very rare that I get trolled a bit. But it fucking hurts because they go deep.
Yeah.
You'll have 1,000 great comments and 1 or 2 bad ones. You're like, why the fuck? What planet are you on?
You hung up on that less than 1%.
Yeah, it's a joke. But anyway, it's like I say, there was a lot of frustration, there was a lot of waiting, but it was all worth waiting for. All the boxes were ticked, the races were done, apart from Superstar Race. They had to drop that one because most of the riders are in the senior with the same bike. Which frustrating for me. I was pissed though because I only got for 3 races. I wanted to ride my Superstar bike again, but I didn't get a chance. I never rode my super bike from Sunday to Saturday. I never even sat on it. I didn't get a practice lap on it. But that's what we did years ago. You race Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You did the Formula 1 race, never sat on your you never sat on your super bike till Sunday. Well, it was like that for years. Now they're trying to get a bit more practice in. All right, it rained and we missed a few, but they tried.
Yeah.
You can't. Fucking fog's down and it's pissing down. So what can you do?
Yeah.
So we patiently waited. The crowd patiently waited. You've got that fan zone, you got this, end of the day, the man's got it all, hasn't it? If it's a shit day, we'll have an ice cream at Peel. It gets rained off. It's not like you got to stand in a field with your fucking umbrella inside out and holding on to 2 kids or something. There's so much more to the Isle of Man. But, it's been 29 races since somebody else won a race apart from Michael and Peter. 29 straight races they've won.
Really?
Until Toddy's won one. Best thing ever. Not for them two, but it's the best thing for the event.
Yeah.
Boom, new blood. That's what it wants.
Yeah.
It needs it, doesn't it? It needs somebody else. Because there's no next generation. They're not coming. They're not. Again, I'm not for kind of words up. But
we were talking earlier on that
you should be smashing 30s and 31s, and you should be. You should be battering the 30s out all day.
When you look down the timing screens, the
32s then all day.
All right, John, you fucking cut me deep, mate. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, broke down in 2 fucking Superbike races. Only got 1 stop. Yeah. Paragraph 4, chapter 7, excuse book. John's a cut.
Nah, but I don't know.
Got right. Who's been the outstanding achievement award?
It's got to be Toddy, hasn't it? It's got to be Davey.
I think quickly blasting them off. I think really you can't. The Crow brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The new blood on that side of things. Not only once but twice.
They got into that Founds' head a bit, didn't they?
Didn't they just?
I don't know that Founds. I don't know if from Adam, but I don't know his character at all. Or I love the fact that Molly was on the podium at 60.
Yeah, and he's retired.
Yeah, he's called it now. Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. He curveballed me with that one. I was like, what? But a lot of people tend to do that, don't they? They get all full of emotions and retire, then winter kicks in and
try to have
another dude.
They've got now to do sidecards.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, the crows were stunning. Crows were stunning. The Birchall, Ben was lucky going offside at Mountain and getting away with it, and
Jesus,
not writing the outfit off, and everybody typical our sport in general and people and local lads in Douglas fiberglassed his thing up and
body filler and paint, didn't it? Yeah.
It looked immaculate again for the race, didn't it? Nowhere else in the world, is it? So yeah, Crows 120.
that's galloping, isn't it? You know, when you think there was only 2 prior to that.
Just nice.
You know what I mean?
I liked them cuddling Molly. They both went to cuddle Molly. You know, the dad was in there. Nick Crow obviously had his bump, didn't he? So all them years ago. So it's just loads of cool little stories everywhere. You know, we just need
Dave Magsden Migdal's still going.
Just need yourself, Neves, Craig Neve. You know,
Craig
Jim
Neve.
Howard.
We must give a shout to Craig Neve. He is one lucky boy, and the fact that he got back on a bike, he lost it in the Griever Castle. That is just. It went down
into there.
It went down. It was the bone on his knee. Like the skin just sandpapered off clean.
Well, every corner was knocked off him, wasn't it? He had patch. Everywhere there was anything that sticks out was.
But he flew like my mate Aidan Robinson in. Like funny enough, the only place he could work on was like me. My dad lent me his caravan and we got the awning. Honestly, it just looked like a dirty little sweatshop. It was just like anything he could find in the Isle of Man was in that caravan.
He didn't ride the senior though, did he? He rode the 600, didn't he? And then didn't ride the senior.
No, which is the fact that he got back on his bike's bloody impressive enough. You know what I mean?
I saw him. One of the physios that I work with has come and bodged him up a little bit before the race, but he was adamant he was going to race. I'm like, really? But we're just like that, aren't we? We're just stupid.
It's only once a year, though, isn't it? Once a year, and everything's been built up around that. You've built your whole winter. You're training your bollocks off thinking about the TT.
Training bollocks off,
yeah.
You can't cut. It's the kettle black.
I rode my balls off. I haven't done much enduro riding this year. Not much chance to get. I've had a busy year. Like, the start of the year has been unbelievably busy. Chat shows, this do, that do, charity do's, Honda ambassador stuff, Bennetts ambassador stuff, Scottish bike show, London bike show, chat shows with Whittam and testing riding. I've never ever been as busy of a start of a year than this year. I have not.
Will you do any more BSB? Sorry.
No.
I'd like to do brands. I'd like to do the second Alton. I'm going to do that Silverstone round, you know, the MotoGP. There's a British round MotoGP, so I'm going to go and have a rip round there.
That'll be a busy grid.
Goodwood Revival, Goodwood Festival, Classic TT, maybe Macau. So.
Ooh, Classic TT. What are you going to be peddling there?
Just a pattern. Just a pattern.
A Honda, you can imagine. This is how this is how the paddock. There is that. There is that. Like, there's John on the start line. Like, there's Javier. Like, slaps a sticker over the pattern. Like, yeah, mate, it's green. Don't worry about it. There.
It's funny. The last few years, I've just sort of gone there.
You all right, Javier?
Yeah, it's been a bit like I'm going to do the leave it at that. I go, all right, yeah. Leave it at that. So, like, some cool stuff coming to the Goodwood Festival. I think it's some anniversary for Honda again, so they're bringing some cool bikes and things. So I love the Classic TT. Just going, no pressure whatsoever. Just going
pedal around.
Normally you only do maybe 4 or 5 laps in practice, and then you race. And
yeah,
but you can always get an ice cream, bag of chips on prom. Hopefully it'll be a little bit less strenuous as the TT. It's still the same track. Still get the same buzz when you're pedaling that little pattern round and hitting all the apexes, and it's going good. Are you riding that Yamaha thing?
No. No, because they're John Davies at the end of the year. They said they're calling it a day,
right?
But then they've made a resurgence, so it's I'm currently rideless. But it'll be all right. So good news for you, John. I was actually in front of you there, so fuck you. You know what I mean? Yeah. No young blood coming through and all that shit. You know, fuck you.
Not when it comes to the big stage.
Yeah.
Might be on all fucking classic shit, not on a proper bike. Not on this fucking. Not when you when it comes to lads, eh?
Oh, same track.
I ain't getting involved.
No, you're on the big bikes.
I'm gonna read this book. This is Alan Carter's autobiography.
That's for you. That's for you.
I'm not the greatest reader in the world, and that is one of the books I've read.
Do you know what? Martin's lent me his copy, and I haven't read it yet.
Start it tonight. Go and read 3 or 4 pages.
John,
listen.
I won't be home while about 1 in the morning. I'm not like you.
Please, read half a dozen pages when you get home, and WhatsApp me.
Mate, it's not just about racing, is it? It's literally it's a hell of it's a proper story.
Fantastic story.
It's not, honestly.
Ups, downs, trials, this.
He's got a hell of a story, hasn't he?
How the hell does he carry on racing from what he's been through? Is phenomenal.
I met Mal Carter.
But you can. Do you say
the only way you get those books now are through Chasin the Racin?
Right, there you go. Shame.
That was what I was looking for.
Love
That's
it,
the
mate.
answer. Shameless plug. Get Alan Carter's book on Chasin the Racing, guys. I would recommend it.
And
It's
you don't,
really, really good.
and you don't read good.
I don't read good, but I read it.
It's got pop-ups.
It made me cry, it made me laugh. And it's got loads of real cool stuff in it. A lot of speedway in it, because his brother, Kenny, was a top speedway rider. He was world number 2. Nearly won the world championship one night in Los Angeles, and tells you all the story about him. He got tangled up with Bruce Pennell, who went on to be a Hollywood star in the Chips, you know Chips.
No.
Older people know it. California Highway Police. There's a program about 2 coppers in California on police bikes. It was called Chips. And Bruce Pennell went on to, but because he was in America, the referee excluded Kenny out.
The Brit.
Yeah. And Bruce went and won the world title. And Mal Carter was his dad. I remember him as a kid. He was 81 or 82. I was only 9, 10 year old watching it with my dad. And his dad was storming down to the referee, firing fucks into the ref and everything. It was just amazing television at the time. But I was sat at a dinner table with Mal Carter, who give a lot of people a leg up, the Haslams, and he was just telling me that about his lad and Alan and all that. He didn't hold back any punches. He was just, he's a fucking wanker, he was a C, he was a that. You know, Kenny the fucking idiot, he was this. Then he fucking shot his missus and shot himself and all that, which he did. You know, blew his missus away and savage. And then Alan, he signed for that Cobas team, that Spanish Cobas team. His dad said, he said, you'll read it. Word for word, you know. It's an amazing book. Yeah. And he hated Neil Tuxworth. he fires into Tux into there. And he hates Steve Islam.
Did he?
Yeah. They give Hizzy an engine over him and all that. You might read it, you might not.
Well, no, I will.
It's right up my street. I love that era of racing. Brilliant. Just, yeah.
But like you say, the storyline behind it's like
it
very
goes on
small.
and
Like how he's.
It goes on. There was another one. There was another Carter brother called Mal, named after his dad, and they had a car crash. And Mal, his mum was driving the car, and it says in there, they said, "Oh, don't use the car. It's got fucking iffy brakes or something like that," because there's a car dealer in that. And Mal Carter was in the hands of the painter and decorator. They were off to get some paint, which was painting and decorating. So the kid was in the front. Then a car crash. She went through the window. His mum paralysed herself, so she was in a wheelchair. And Mal, the other son, the brother, he hit the dashboard and died. So straight away, read the first 6 pages and WhatsApp me tonight. See what you think. You'll not put him down.
Anyway,
Let's go back to the jolly subject.
No, but like Alan Carter, was one of Chrissy's like coaches, and Chrissy loved that book, and that's why the family have got involved and helped out Alan as well by buying the remaining copies. And then
it's sort of gone under the radar, and he's pushing a bit.
Yeah,
you know, and that's what we can do. But honestly, I defy anybody who does not like that read. And I'm not a reader.
That's saying a lot, that John.
Honestly,
mate. That's saying a lot.
I mean, it goes a bit weird at the end. You know, fucking Alan went off God bothering and all sorts of weird shit at the end. But at the start of it, all the racing's fantastic. He's got loads of speedway in it, which I loved growing up, which I still love now. You know, and he was raced in America. He went to ride for Kenny Roberts and old Kenny Roberts stories and stuff. And Gary Cowan was his teammate. And Gary Cowan got paralysed at Daytona, hit the wall and all. It's all in there. It's good.
I like it.
Kenny's suicide notes in there.
Fucking hell.
Picture of it, yeah. So,
fucking hell.
What's a look?
They are. No, wait.
I'll read the first 6 pages and I'll WhatsApp you.
Do it.
Definitely get that done. But I'll tell you what, well, before we move on to the Patreon questions, have we got any more fire of fucks to fire in the John?
I think it's just been good.
What do you think I should do?
With regards to what? Carrying on? Yeah.
I just can't believe I haven't got a goal.
Oh.
You've achieved your goals, haven't you?
No. I'm not saying that he's achieved unbelievable things in bike racing. He's an MBE.
I do have a question for you.
Stay in one piece is a goal.
At any point this year, did you scare yourself?
TT?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because you normally have in the fortnight, you've 1 or 2 moments. Maybe not fuck me moments, but you have a.
I ran wide a little bit wide on the left. You know where you had your crash into that downhill right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a double left and it goes like blind crest. It's like I don't know what it's called, Glen Tramon or something. I had a little bit of a which made the next right really narrow for me. I was like, just. I missed that last left kink getting onto the Selby Straight.
Right. What, just a little bit wide?
Yeah. It's really, really, really hard for me to pick out. I remember my eyes had just gone a little bit off. But you know that, you come out you go to Corey Benz who goes left.
Stop bribing your medicals, left. John. Stop bribing medical
before.
Eye test.
He's got plenty of cheddar in
It's that bumpy coming out of there, that last left there, just a little bit off the... There's always a Marshall stood there, an orange thing. And I tried to pick him out, but I didn't have... Were they
moments where you thought...
I had a big slide out. Where is it coming out of Bluff? One, that huge slide coming out of there on the left. It really just... You know, like you can get a drift around there and you just keep it in, don't you? You just come right round and whoosh out the seat a little bit. Right out of the seat. That wasn't that. No.
So that to me is a massive tick, isn't it? Then?
Yeah, I feel little wobbles and stuff. No, I think I've just got an inner safety barrier, and my brain and body will not allow me to come out of that. I've gone very stagnant on where I was in 15, really.
Yeah, but you've had a sniff of it though.
32 on Stocker was a lot faster than I've ever been. I've only been into 130s on the Stocker, you know. Even I won it in 2012, but I won it at a slow pace, you know. It was a crap pace. I don't know how I ended up winning it. But that is probably my best. I mean, I was 7th in the race, but I just a bit of a steady start with that oil slick, but then the last lap was strong. I was over 32 on the last lap, which was mint. Yeah.
But I just think, for me, like, my next target's a 31. You know what I mean? Then after that, I know it'll be a 32. No, I'm not naive to that. You know what I mean? It's like I look around people around me, and I've seen the worst thing. I've seen that fucking ideal, and then going like that. That's the thing.
Well, look at the ideal. Everybody's best ideal. 37 and fucking 0.8 or something.
That's what I mean. It's just ideal.
It's ridiculous. Isn't it?
I'm a firm believer the ideal means fuck all because you haven't put it on the paper. You know, the first time I've actually sort of looked, my dad writes a note, and like my dad rang us and said, "Look, your ideal's like a 32." I'm going, "Oh no."
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
But then you can string it together, but that's the skill of the TT element of it. But for me, I find it very interesting how it's great to hear. I'm not slagging it off, far from it. It's like you can go out and enjoy yourself at a 32 pace. You know what I mean? Think where my position is.
Yeah.
But you know that where I get my hunger to go racing is going. I'm not fussed about position. I'm not, you know, the board comes up, but if I can look at, like, if I can cross the line and go, you did quicker. Like, I improved every lap time I did on the bike, but
you're
a total different.
It's unclear of your age, Dominic, because we don't know how old you are.
I'm the Chris Walker of TT. That's
but it's a different thing, isn't it? Where you're still chasing a time, whereas you're just loving riding the bike.
Yeah.
And it's very different things.
I love riding my bike,
which is fair enough, but which is lovely. And almost I could be jealous.
I love getting my helmets, all the rest of the shit.
But you fucking, if you put that fart you did at the beginning of the show into that finish line, you would have 33. I mean, you know what I mean?
It's a great analysis of it, and it's a great thing that, or put it in another word, if I was 2 stone lighter, would it have made that difference? Maybe it would have done. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe I don't know. I have a lot of stick about losing weight. Honda's at me all the time. I get it, I understand it. There's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds going to it. And Harv said to me straight away after the race, imagine how good you'd be if you lost a bit of weight. Which, like, 50% to me was like, I sort of wanted to stick the head on him. 50% of me said he's right. So,
could you go to your grave?
Being happy?
No, I mean, the ifs and buts. You know, you try and remove the ifs and buts out of life, and that's what I try to do. I think if I did that,
no,
I could have done that.
I've no regrets at all. Nothing. I mean, I could go at my grave now thinking I've achieved everything I could have achieved. Yeah, so that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't think particularly that it's the one thing that's the slight. If I had to change it, anything whatsoever, it would probably be my image and my weight or something like that. But not the way I've approached my racing, not the way I've like run my ship, not, you know what I mean, steered my ship along and stuff. I think that I think everything that I'm sort of an overachiever, really.
No. But definitely know what you've done and what you're capable of. It's just I find it very interesting that you go in your own mind. You're going, if I did that, what could I do? And I'm surprised that curiosity isn't a scratch that you're not itching. Just out of sheer, like, you know what, fuck it, I've lost the 2 stone.
If somebody said to me, here's 10 million quid, go and lose 2 stone, I probably still wouldn't do it. It's like being addicted to some sort of drug or something, isn't it? It's like stopping smoking. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a piece of piss to lose weight and not eat shit. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I don't know why. I've had every top athlete from
fucking Mark Webber on the phone,
all the time.
Rossi on the phone. You've literally had them all.
I've had them all telling me what to eat, how to do it, what to do. I've gone all today without having a drink. He can't get his head around it. I'm just a creature of habit. I cannot.
I got here at 9:30 and we sat eating tea at what?
9:30,
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he hasn't drank anything. I'm sat in the digger and I'm dying of thirst. So I've had like 2 pints of water. He hasn't drank anything. I don't understand it.
I've been dicking about outside, not doing loads of work, but up and down, this bit of streaming, bit of this, not touch the drop.
Just doesn't drink anything. Can't get my head around it.
I can't, honestly. It's like if somebody had a gun to my head, I still don't think I could not stick a packet of crisps in my gob, you know.
No, I don't
know. But it's just getting that happy medium, isn't it? Getting that happy balance correct. I would love to, I look at myself and it is slightly embarrassing. I'm a lump.
No, I don't. No, it's not.
I've got really short legs and a long body. If you have a look I look stupid. I don't look right.
Them Norton leathers, he looked like a galvanised beer keg. He looked like Bender off Futurama, didn't he?
Yeah, Hickey. Oh, like a fat chicken in tinfoil, that's what it is. Well, like, Hickey looks right. Hickey's probably heavier than me, but he looks right, doesn't he? Because he's got his height. But for me, because I'm 5'8" and heavy, and a long body and no legs, it looks ridiculous. If you look, while my legs are hanging up, you'll see just the legs are about that long. It just looks wrong. It's not that I'm fat, I just look wrong. But it's like I say, honestly, it motivates me sometimes when people.
That's what I'm like.
All right, I'll just show you. Then I'll just, I can still do it. I suppose. I want to stay in one piece. I don't want to wreck myself. I don't want to. I still want to. My averages are running out. You can chop a tree down like you do. One day, I'm going to get you in the face with a chainsaw, aren't you? Which you've had. At some point, I'm going to go up the road, which could be the end of me. So I have to just keep that little bit of, if I really stick my neck out and push myself, do I do a 1:33.5? Am I still fourth? Probably. Is it a personal goal? Not really. Does that make sense?
Stupid question, because you're a TT rider. As you are as well, Joe.
Was.
Yeah, fucking scratch.
Nah, once and always.
Maybe go back.
Yeah.
His balls have shrunk.
But if you died at when you're dead, you're dead. But if you died at the TT, would you be resentful to that?
No.
I wouldn't be.
No.
Not one bit.
Nah.
Be dead, don't we worry about
that. No, but not even the worry about it. It's a bit like
I'd be pissed off if I wrote myself off at Northwest on a damp, greasy practice or something, and fuck me, why was I even out there? What if my hair's on fire and I'm going doing 133s, 2s, 1s, whatever, enjoying myself, and something happens at TT and you go to wherever you go, then you could accept it. Because when you go somewhere, you don't actually know where you go, do you?
No one knows.
You might wake up and go, I'm in this la la land now.
No, but the mad thing is, no one knows.
Who does?
No one knows what's on the other side of that fence, mind.
Do you go to hell and
Teesside?
Get your head kicked in. I don't know, but It's just for me. I always think, oh God, you can only roll the dice so long. So just, I wish a lot of bits of me think that I wish something would tell me to stop, or you get to a point where your federation makes you stop or something. The ACU doesn't give you a license or something. So the decision's taken away from you, and you can accept it or something. But
you sound a lot more sure about not retiring now than you did last year.
Yeah.
Last year you sounded like you had a little bit of, you were doing it, but you were not questioning. It's not the right way of wording it. But you were almost looking for reassurance that it was the right thing. Whereas now it's like, it doesn't seem like that.
I really enjoyed this year. I enjoyed working
John McGuinness is back.
I know I'm I ride in the factory team. It's very corporate, and there's lots of things to do, and I have to say the right thing at times, and I have to do all sorts of, which I actually quite enjoy. I don't mind all that. But we went to Spain and Portugal. Me, Andre Compton, Mick Rayner, Mark Campion. I call Mark Campion, who actually finished second in the Newcomers Manx a lot of years ago. We were mechanics for Andre Compton, and Ewan. We all went to Portugal, and we had beer, pizzas, rode the bike. I've got my old Superstock bike from 22, 23. And we just had such a laugh. And I found the enjoyment again. I found that what it's about, which is fun. It's still fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. The Honda job's fun, but there were just something ignited something there.
It was like back to day one.
Yeah, it was just.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did we all want to go race bikes? Because you fall in love with it.
Well, you said that to me earlier on. When we were talking about it, you said people forget why they're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And we had two hire cars. Andre wrote an hire car off, did a U-turn in road. Do you know what I mean? It's what we used to do. There were fucking hire cars on the roof everywhere years ago. And
Andre been lit.
No, he was laughing his bollocks off. He turned in front of. I couldn't even believe he did it. We're all like, next thing you know, fucking Peugeot partner van embedded inside a hire car. It was just like, but there were nobody judging us. There were nobody looking at us. Like, we just went on a focused events thing, I think it was, or whatever. And then we went to Andalusia, and it's that hard on tyres. We took a load of scrub tyres in the hand luggage. You know what I mean? It's like factory underrider, and I'm taking worn tyres to Spain.
He's laughing. He's laughing. He says it like, I'm tight. I'm that tight.
It's not tight. It's not that.
What do you mean it's not tight? Fuck off.
It's a principle thing.
What? Go on, explain.
Well, fucking 500 quid a tyre. I'm not buying. I'm not buying loads of new tyres. Anyway, we took some scrubs. So we get us off the plane. We've got stacked to the top ex-Honda tyres that done so many laps. Fucking hell, next thing you know, Guardia Seville, fucking, where you going with these tyres? And I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. Like, there's no carnet, no fucking nothing, nothing's all to fuck. And I had to just, thinking on your feet, bullshitted our way through the customs to get these tyres through. And I love that. I love a bit of a challenge and just something just going on, you know what I mean? So we had a right old laugh. And, the ultimate... Donington was good for me. The BSB tested a personal best lap time in that shitty windy day and that. And then Alton Park, I finished 16th or 17th, and he got 17th. What a prick. I went fast. I got into 27s or whatever at Alton. Joe on the spanners, So that for me was fun. There was no room in the team. There was no room at the inn at Honda. Their garages were full, so they gave me and Joe and Ewan and the boys the 2024 bike and just said, look, fucking go and ride that. But the easiest thing would have been going, bollocks, I can't be asked to do that. But we did it. And it motivated me, you know what I mean? I thought, fuck them, I'll go and, whatever, and I'll go and I'll ride, and, went as good as ever got. And then when we went to Northwest, hit the ground running, just momentum, and So I found that love for it all again, really. Last year, 22 was going back to that gold bike, all that, a lot of pressure, didn't really ride good, thinking about this, thinking about other things. And 23, maybe I did it because I didn't want to do it or not enjoy it as much. 24, we're back in the zone again. And
so you found the secret to success is love on that side of things. You know what I mean? Found the love of it. So let's talk about 25. Are you going to do the same thing again? No. You know what I mean?
I would like. I mean, Harv, and Neil Fletcher. Excuse me. The bosses from Honda said there's a bike there for me.
Class.
It's entirely up to you. We'll back you till you're done. So that's fantastic. Hopefully Dean will stay there, and I don't know what's happening with Nathan, but I mean, Honda are back on the podium with the official team. Honda are doing a lot of work with HRC at the minute, because HRC are in a mess. The World Superbike team is not working.
They had the main men at Donington, didn't they?
Yeah, they
came over to Donington to work with, see what Tommy was doing.
There's a lot going on between us all. So, they went to that test in Italy, did Honda. A lot of feedback between each other. So, who knows next year if we've got a proper factory superbike, it might just bridge that gap with power and speed to the BM, which is what we need if they want to win. Then they've got to close that 10 mile an hour up. No matter how good you are, so there's loads of stuff going on under the radar that I'm involved in, and which I still love. I still love that part of the industry. So, let's.
But the man, it's that having that. Security is a sketchy word to use. There's no security in life, period. But it's great to hear that you've got that situation, because, as far as what's going on in the paddock, you never know who's coming or leaving. There's you never know if a team's going to drop out. You never know. Well, hopefully more teams step up. You know what I mean? I'm hoping so. You know what I mean?
Honda won the manufacturers this year. It's really, really important for Honda to win the manufacturers, and they won it again. So Neil Fletcher was there at the presentation with Harv. They're dead proud to get that. Me, Michael, Dean, Jamie Coward, James Healy, we've all been part of that. It's a big team effort to get that manufacturers. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. Just need to. They know it can be improved. So they're working on to improve that a little bit. So I'll still have the leathers on.
Good. See, Joe, like you say, this is a different.
It is.
John's back, man. Like last year, I thought, fucking hell, get the rope out. You know what I mean? I'll help you tie a knot. You know what I mean?
I fucking love it. You know what I mean?
Good. Yeah.
When you're on them blades and the sideways and the whistling through them, you're going through Bishop's Court and things on back wheel, and he's sliding fifth, sixth gear, and there's no better feeling in the world, is there? Whistling past them thousands of people on that best track in the world. It was just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of being on my bike, and that is what it's all about.
Love it, mate. Love it. But before, I feel like we should just literally hit the end button, but we're not. We're going to get some Patreon questions. Patrons. Well, the advantage of that, I'm going to forcibly, because I've locked the van, you see, so you're going to forcibly sign a couple of these caps. You know what I mean?
You don't have to lock your van down, do you?
Some of these are mega as well, to be fair.
Wherever you're from, Sunderland, where the fuck.
Fuck off, get out my van.
Is that,
get out my fucking van.
Mackham, is it?
Get out my dad. Oh, here we go. Are you struggling to read it?
No. So I've got a question.
Patrons. What was that? Where that word?
So patrons, without patrons, the show wouldn't be going. So there's a subscription fee. Contributors, yeah. So it's basically OnlyFans is the podcast world. That's it. So no, but
that one.
But the advantage of being a patron on that side of things is you get asked questions, and then if you kindly sign us a few hats, only the patrons are going to have access to the giveaways on that side of things, which is awesome. And then.
Hit me up with a question.
Luke,
hit him with a question.
Hi, John. Next year will be my first time going to the TT, so where would be the best place for me and my brother and dad to go and spectate at? Braille, right.
Bottom of rail. No-brainer.
CJ Pepe, if you weren't going off at number one, what number would you want to go off at? And which riders would you like to have going off ahead of you? I think that's a good one.
CJ, that's a question, that mind.
Nowhere to hide now. For me, I'd like to go in the first 5 because you're always going to get probably somebody faster than you that'll tow you along a little bit. I felt this year at number 1 it was great in a lot of ways because the kudos is there. You're always going to get on the telly. It's good for your sponsors, but I felt like a bit of a sitting duck at times. You know,
You must think about that.
I mean, Jamie rode his own race, coward. But when Dean passed Jamie could hook onto him. He dragged him towards me, and then when Dunlop probably passed Hillier, probably dragged him along a little bit. So I was just sat there with nobody to chase. But
Yeah.
a lot of years I was all right in the morning. I was fast enough just to check out. But I think number one's.
You're happy just to hold number 1.
I'm happy at number 1.
Yeah, but all right, you don't have number 1.
Yeah,
this is the theoretical
that was
game.
the question. But I mean, anywhere else I don't care. I also love number 4. Four's a lovely number. It fills your number plate up lovely. I've won my first TT, and I won my first. Well, I know I've ever won one British Championship, but that year, I'd like to go 4. Not because anybody's around me, just a cool number.
They are.
But Hutchie always has that.
That is a cracking. CJ, that is awesome. I'm going to jump in.
Go on, you crack on.
From Sticks, current TT race day schedule or old version? But you kind of touched on this briefly. You were talking about like the Formula One. But basically, do you agree with
Probably
2 Super Twin races, and do you agree with 2 stock
My
races?
stage in my career, old, Superbike, 600, Super Stock, Senior, probably. Current format, if the weather's good and everything's on time, lovely, like it was last year, worth a treat, didn't it?
Definitely.
10 races, 8 solo. Yeah, I think it. And if it works like clockwork, which TT never does,
I think everyone got like that. This is the thing. I think we're going to call them the keyboard warriors, but I think it was so easy to jump on the bandwagon of being negative this year because how good last year was.
Yeah,
the weather, bang.
First year they ran it was last year, and it worked a treat, didn't it? And everybody, I mean, it was tiring. It wasn't so bad for me because I had 4 races, but everybody doing the 8 solo races, it was hard work. I mean, Dean, everybody was knackered after that first Superbike race. Dean was hanging out his hole, he'll admit it. And Toddy was shagged as well after that first six lap thing. It was fucking hard. Really, really hard. But I mean, days off are nice, but I understand. There's never any great big world events on a Friday. They're always a weekend, aren't they? A MotoGP is a weekend. World Superbike, everything. F1 is always a weekend, so I think it should be on a weekend.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah.
Max Mayers, amazing result of the TT. Dom and John. Question for John. What are some of the best bikes in your collection? And with the lengthy delays at the TT this year due to the weather, do you think the morning practice should be brought back in?
Morning practices were really, really nice and really, really unique and quite special. But they were very, very rare with conditions. It was always... It was a 50-50 job all the time. A lot of them were always rained off or misted off. But a morning practice on a 250, where it was like the air was a bit dense and that, and it was crisp as all. It was, you could hear it. No spectators, which made it just marshals, so it made it even more weird and unique.
Felt even more illegal because it felt like
it just felt nuts. But you always hit more wildlife. There's always more wildlife in the morning, like rabbits and stuff. You're like, what was that? Like one of them fucking black polecat type things. Just
like a weasel or a ferret.
Just like, fuck's that? It was always a bit.
Weird in the back tire.
Yeah, and if you broke down in the morning, it was eerie, very eerie.
Class.
Sometimes there was never any wind in the morning. You just sit there with a marshal with a brew or something, and it was so unique and different. I liked it when I did it. I understand why they don't do it now.
You're desperate to do
I would
one.
love to do one.
Yeah,
I'm traditional.
it was really cool.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, you're all pitch black.
I've rolled bikes up for me dad, at the Mouse Grand Prix.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that. You know
For
what I mean?
practice, morning practice. Yeah.
But I was probably like,
Yeah, it is. It's weird. You're like, I've probably been in pub night before.
and
As soon as you drop clutches, you're awake then, But I mean, I've ridden factory Ducati superbikes there at 5:15 in the morning. It's mental.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
never happened again.
That year in 2003, I remember breaking down at Grebe Bridge on the Triumph. The Triumph seized up going to Grebe Bridge. And I thought, if I can get back around my Ducati, the Monster Mob Ducati Birdie's bike, bless him, he's not with us anymore. And I thought, if I run to Goresley, somebody there might give me a lift back. And I thought, it's not that far, because you come out.
In my head, it's quite a long way, that.
You come out of Grebe and you think, on your bike, you're like, you're all of a sudden you're in Goresley, aren't you? Fucking long way on your feet. I'm like, my levers. I get to Goresley, Marshall let me cross the road. Steve Moynihan was there. Do you know Steve Moynihan?
I've heard the name.
Steve Moynihan was a good Manx rider. Like, he won.
Engineering firm, man.
Yeah, Steve Moynihan.
Yeah.
And he was in a boring story, I'm going to tell you anyway, fuck it. But I'll never forget it. He was in a flat front van with column gear change. Looking Toyota or something, first gear, second gear. And he gave me a lift back to paddock. Like, of course, Dave, give me back to paddock. And I remember him, like, pulling up to the gate. And, the on-ramp, they were just sat there with Ducati and running. He was like, just running away. And they said, you got 5 seconds. Clock was going down. I just got out for a lap in the morning practice on that Ducati. I picture it now, that Monster Mob bike just sat there ticking over. And then, but all them stories about the morning practices, they were cool. And I remember breaking down number 125 at Laurel Bounds, getting eaten by fucking midges. It's like, favourite bike in my collection is probably my 99 TSR 250 or my 2007 blade. 2007 6 and 7 blade was fantastic. It was bulletproof. It was absolutely brilliant, and I could just knew every single nuance it was going to do. I did the double at the TT in it 2 years in a row, and it's just not sounding like a smart ass, but I had him beat before I got my leg over it.
Class.
I should just drill it into him on that. It was an awesome bike. Just physically slightly bigger bike. You sat in them nicely, and they were just a fucking great bike. You rode it.
The Goodwood
went a
bike.
Goodwood up there, didn't you? Yeah.
My first thing when I got on it was it's massive.
Yeah,
There's loads of
big
room
lump.
on it.
But the engine, the rules are different, like rods and that, and it just one-to-one connection. It was vroom, and it just sweet as a
Lovely.
lot. Yeah, really nice thing to ride. And I'm slightly 16.5-inch wheels with 190 back tyre, a bit narrowish to steer, really, really good lighting. But they used to eventually went to 16.5, and used to chunk the middle out. But went to 17, sorry. But them 16.5 190s, they were the bomb. They were.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Right, well, I'm going to, looking at the time.
Give us another one.
You want another one? You, Jesus, you want another one? I love it. Love it.
Now.
Jesus, you're on it now.
I
You're
just
on it.
don't want George to get to bed before 2 in the morning.
Oh, twat.
Right.
It's alright, he's been asleep while I've been in Digger.
It got to be done. Tony Rolls.
Called Sobers, actually. They're nice time, weren't they? You fucked it with putting that chill
Yeah,
on.
I shouldn't have. Well, no, Hillier fucked it when he created that. I mean, it's lovely.
Hillier will love that.
Fucking brilliant. Tony Rolls. I asked Rutter this at the TT and couldn't get an answer, so here goes. Which is the hardest Dunlop to ride against, Joey or Michael? It's quite. It says a lot, mine.
Do you know what? It's hard. You can't answer it because none of them are hard. I think Michael comes across as maybe the hardest one, but not. He's fair as a rider.
I must say something about Michael, mind. He's got to be the most polite rider on the grid.
He's good.
Not as far as marshals.
Yeah.
He waves at every sink, holding the flag. Like other riders, you knock the throttle off and you get your back. No, but you know what I mean, though. It's like, but
he does.
For someone with the name like the Bull, you know,
Yeah.
his persona, you know, everything like that, and he just.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's proper. I'm not saying you don't wait, but like, as far as every ride I've ever seen, he's almost borderline over exaggerated. It's like he's trying to make them see him from like
Yeah.
the other side of the circuit. You know, he's like, whoa, 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 and you're thinking,
Joe,
and he knows when he comes around for the next lap, it's probably the same situation where he doesn't actually have to do anything, and he still does it.
yeah,
it's a good example.
Well, the marshals and that all appreciate that. But Michael, I was in that race with Michael. Then he won that Northwest a couple of days after his dad died. You know, I was on the podium.
Fuck, that was some moment, that.
That was a hell of a race, that. And I don't think anybody was going to stop him, even if he tried. I mean, on the grid was unbelievable. They weren't going to let him ride, and they said, well, throw him off the grid then, see how you get on. Him and William were on the grid. The arms were up the back there, weren't they? Like,
you could, like, that.
they'd have been fucking hell on if they'd dragged him off the grid, but he rode, you know, he could have gone either way, that. You know, he could have turboed me or that Christian Elkin. Yeah. But he passed us fair and square. We passed him, I passed him, he passed me. You know, like at that point, the reasons he had to win it could have made his mind go in a different way, you know, and fucking give you a good old thumping up a slip road or something. But he didn't. He just... And it was super hard but fair. Joey was very similar to that. I didn't have loads of races with Joey because I had a race at Scarborough maybe with him, Northwest, but no Ulsters or them short racing. The TT, obviously you're on your own, so. But I passed Joey in practice in 2000 at Kerramore, 250, and striped him up a little bit, and I regretted it immediately when I did it. Regretted it. Then in the race he just battered me. He smashed me in the race. He was number 3 and I was number 4, and I was British champion, 250 lap record holder, leading the British Championship. I've got this covered. Bit of a jack the lad. Maybe a bit too big for my boots for a bit. Gave me a bit of a rough up at Kerramore.
Did he say anything?
Instant regret.
Did he say anything?
That's why I don't do it now to anybody on the TT. I would never ever do it. He didn't, but I said to him after he won the race, I said that's because of that little Kerramore incident, wasn't it? And he just went. He gave me a little wink. He knew. I knew. He knew. But fair play. I mean, I've never, you know, I've ridden with him a bit, Joey. I've ridden with Michael more. Ridden with William a bit as well. William was
mega.
Yeah, good. He was at Ulster Grand Prix, a bit of a like race with William and that. But they're all fair hard riders. But you can't really say who's the hardest because they're, I don't know, very similar, I suppose. Winners. Can you see that? I got some glasses.
Peter Frank, do you still have the blade under the stairs?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's probably thinking about my old house, that, but the blade was under the stairs, yeah, at the old house. But it's, yeah. Tell you what I got. My 100th start bike, you know, the gold one.
I heard that rumour ages ago. Like, was it
there was a lot of wind and piss, you know, floating around from Honda and one thing and another, and they said I could have it.
Wind and piss.
You know, I was like, oh, you can have it. And I was getting a bit like, is it really going to happen, this? And at the TT this year, I had no idea whatsoever. But they had the bike in the hospitality suite. And I was in the workshop bit, and then they said, oh, we need you to unveil this bike in the hospitality. When I walked in, it was packed to the rafters. You know, Michael Dunlop had his head in there. There was like all my riders and teams and all the, you know, everybody from the paddock, really. I thought, this is a bit fucking weird, what's going on here? And they went and they unveiled my...
What did you think you were unveiling?
Well, it was under a black sheet. And I noticed the screen being really high because I'm not high screen, and then they would start talking about it, and then they made me unveil it and sort of said it's mine. So it is mine, but it's been the most busiest busiest bike ever, that for Honda. It's been at every show all over the world. It just keeps going to shows. And
Class.
it was quite emotional for me. I got a bit teared up a bit, and I never normally do, but it meant a lot, that. It's, you've seen, haven't you, every single race start from my first bike with Birdie right through first podium, Joey. It's just I wasn't massively, I was emotional, but it was just all the memories come flooded back. Like you say, morning practice, going down Braille on my first lap, fucking pissing down, misty, dry, sunny, damp, wet, every condition you could ever imagine. And then there it is, my NX5 250 there, then my first podium on the Aprilia, and it was just teams, riders, friends, colleagues.
Memories.
Yeah, it was. It took me back a little bit, but there's been so many mechanics, there's been so many friends. There's probably 15 on there that I raced with, maybe more, 20 that are not with us anymore. So, the banter, the crack, the aggro, there's good words, bad words, being in the bloody tea tent when we were newcomers with David Jeffries, Bruce Anstey. Bruce did the parade lap, great team there at TT, but it was more that got me. I was like, fuck, just all started flooding into me a bit. So there's a nice story, that bike. Told a nice story.
Would you do it all again?
I'd love to do it all again. I would love to go back and do it all again. I don't think I'd change a right lot. Maybe a bit of training. But apart from that, I wouldn't change a lot.
I love it.
I'd love to just redo the whole lot. Not going through fence at Northwest, but the rest
part of it, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'd probably not take as much morphine and
no, but hey, it's
the rest
part
of the shit. But no,
unfortunately,
it was just a bump in the road, wasn't it? But now I don't think about it at all. That injury, my leg's fine. My brain's in gear and everything with it. So, but yeah, took a bit of getting over, but I did. Yeah, I did.
Absolutely love it. I honestly absolutely love it. I could quite happily sit here and let Joe go home at 2 a.m. But I think him looking at me going, Tom, you'll be swallowing your teeth if you get like that. Let's go. I'll tell you what, I'm going to quickly go through the patrons. But thank you so much, Luke, CJ, Peter, Nick H, Sticks, Mark, Betts. Oh God, I've probably got that wrong on that side.
Is that one off a girl? Is it that one off a chick?
Oh, there's a few, There's a few, yeah.
Were there any interesting chick questions?
Send a dick pic.
Negative.
Negative.
Not unless you got a big lens on your camera. I was at the back of the queue.
Oh, good God. Jason, Photostrata there, Stephen, Dean, Max Myers. We've got Kenny, William Boyd, Tony Rolls, Duncan, Jess Mortimer, and my goodness, the last page is not loading. I do apologise on that side of things, but honestly,
not signaling the sticks here.
I tell you what, it is. That's one of the benefits of being out here. But there we go. But lads, I've loved every second of that. It's the TT review, and I'm not.
We have to talk about our sponsor for this pod.
Yes,
which
we didn't get in at the beginning because that was probably the most natural way to start every conversation.
I don't know, it was unnatural. The smell was unnatural. But this episode is sponsored by Woodcote Events, which is actually a mate of mine, Gareth Bright, his company is an automotive events company. So Gareth used to work for Triumph as their global market manager. So he put together all the press launches, all the special events that they did. Gareth left a few years ago to set up on his own, and he's now basically making a successful business.
Fair play, mate.
Doing events for BSA, Royal Enfield. He's still doing work for Triumph, Ducati, and other manufacturers. So yeah, anyone wanting to put together any sort of corporate events, or whether it's organising a ride out, or he's been doing stuff down at the bike shed as well. So yeah, they're mega, absolutely mega, and Gareth is the bollocks as well.
No, that was a massive plug. You're obviously on some sort of wages or something. Right?
No, no, but we need these sponsors because these sponsors are individual for each episode. So yeah, I will do.
Whatever it takes, Joe. You know what I mean? But obviously, no. No, but hey, Gareth, thank you so much. For getting in touch, and Grace is.
We do need him. We do need him. I'm only joking, but there's. No
sponsors, no racing, no podcasts, no nothing. But that leads us on to OnlyFans.
Not OnlyFans. Fans. You're OnlyFans on your own, man. Twice you brought that up.
You said it. Hold on, I said it once. You just said it. Did I just say OnlyFans?
Why do you two have to bicker all the time?
That is an admission of guilt.
People sponsors. I said and fans, not OnlyFans.
I did not say OnlyFans. I said OnlyFans once. You said it the second time.
What is OnlyFans?
Oh, bollocks! You know fine well what OnlyFans
what is. It, though?
There you are. I'll tell you
what. You pay to get pictures of.
It's an advertising platform where people pay for subscriptions.
I've never been called an advertising platform.
Because Macau, there was a couple of lads sponsored by OnlyFans. Now the thing is, in this year, like the Daffabet lads, the RC Express team sponsored by Daffabet, you're not allowed to advertise cigarettes, pornography, and alcohol and gambling, you know what I mean? So pretty much anything fun in life, you're not allowed to promote it. But I get from the audio. Sorry, the audio thoroughly. I think there's a vibration problem coming through that. I've got to drive this van.
Can we wrap this up?
No.
It was fun in the paddock, wasn't it? With fans out
and obviously, John's using the Alan Carter book there, so please go ahead and buy some.
That's why you need to change your diet.
I don't know what you have for dinner.
The inside of your body.
The same, don't we?
Yeah, but
boiled potatoes, chicken.
You've got
veg.
What have you got? 20 years on me.
This is empty. This is an empty.
That's 20 years of. It's a carcass. It's a dead one.
It's a dead carcass.
The smell of that
Joe,
thing.
why do you always bicker?
Can you smell that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, hold up.
The fucking rancid. Why is it so dense?
See, I'm dead on the inside, let's face it. But I'll tell you what, we must keep going through this. But JCT Truck and Trailer Hire, thank you so much. They sponsor Lee Johnson. They sponsor the podcast as well. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go back to our title sponsor is OMG Racing, who are absolutely smashing it in the BSB and obviously the WTF. They've just come back from a successful TT. But we must talk about Bennetts a bit and the fact that you went straight from the TT straight back to work for Bennetts. So give them a plug, son. This is the opportunity to plug the sponsor.
Bennetts, been a loyal sponsor of mine from 2008, probably one of the longest standing Bennetts sponsored riders. One of my longest standing overall sponsors, but been with me through thick and thin. When I won, when I didn't win, when I got injured, they paid me, they looked after me right through.
Class.
Ups and downs. So great people, and get it. They get it. They understand it. We have these track days for customers, and I really, really enjoy them. You just get all walks of life and all abilities on the track, and you just bring them through. You see people when they get there, never been on a track before. They're white as a sheet in the pants. They go off being on some of the biggest tracks in the UK and enjoying it, and
then come up and ask advice from you.
Yeah,
like it's literally that simple. You get a policy, you click online, you can book a track day, and you get to hang around with John McGuinness.
And it's not a race school. It's not driven into you. You can go at any pace you want, and then you come up to me, chat to me. I'll take them round. If they don't want to take them round, we just want to talk about bikes and shit all day. Absolutely fine. But I got home from the Isle of Man Sunday night, early hours on Monday morning, so it's probably 3 o'clock in the morning when I got truck packed up and everything, and then
and after agreeing to be on the show, you know what I mean? So you literally looked at me and just went, "Fuck off." Is Joe there? I went, "Yeah, Joe's gonna be there." Fine.
I'm thinking, well, Joe can do a day's work at my house.
Beautiful magic, yeah.
So I just switched over to treat today. But yeah, I got.
Thanks, mate.
I got in at 3 o'clock, and then I was up on the school run with Maisie at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then truck was just full of crap and emptied out. And then, to be fair, I got my brother and his mate to drive me down, so I just got in the back of the van on the bed and just played myself all the way down there. And then they drove all the way down, bite to eat with them guys. Probably did about 110 laps or something at Brands. I was out in most sessions.
Class.
My brother was riding.
Kurt, yeah.
And his mate. We had a pair of my levers on, and everybody was thought that maybe
John's a bit off it.
He's lost his edge. Must be tired.
they must have said.
To be fair, Kurt can pedal mine. To be fair, mate, you know what I
He's
mean?
pretty handy on an off-roader, but he's got a bit to go on the old road race bike.
Class.
He's a bit stiff. He sits there like, and he's like biting screen and like relaxing. I nearly had to put some duct tape over the McGuinness so my leathers. But you know, you take it for granted, don't you? You do a track day because we've done it for years. It's just I was officing it, and it's not easy.
I was saying last one we did, when we did that charity ride from Grantley Hall, there was a guy who listens to and I'm sorry I don't know your name, but he was saying he wants to go and do a track day, and I said the Bennetts days are the best ones to do because they are.
No egos.
Low numbers.
And they're not. You haven't got the track day warriors. You haven't got the race teams going. They're horizontal.
They're not rocking up the RS motorhomes and sticking the R1 that looks like it's crashing Talfords with like tyre warmers on and everything. It's just lads ride there, ride there, turn up and
Crashing Talfords.
It's just I quite like them. I don't need to do stuff like that. You know, I don't have to listen to. I've been on these track days and they know more than me, you know, they've obviously done it all, it's fine, you know, they're great, get on with it. But these just, they're nice people, and ladies, you know, and old ones, young ones, and I love just spending.
You're falling asleep there, Joe.
It's nodding up here. Still thinks you're driving digger. Bennetts, like I say, Bennetts, long sponsor of mine, and it's on the visor on my helmet if you see it. So,
Bennett.
Can I start? Bennetts. Crown Prince of Bahrain. Monster.
That's a cool sponsor. Not saying none of your sponsors to put that
Blue Earth
sponsors.
Construction. Smith's Honda sponsored me this year at TT. I got a chocolate sponsor as well.
I remember that story. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That.
got my chocolate bar. Did you get one at TT?
No.
Yeah, I've got one.
He's holding them out here.
Oh, there might be some. I've got us here. It's
I
dark
don't know if you
chocolate,
know,
so.
John, I usually come over here and work for now. It's only because Becky's here, I've been fed. Otherwise you get a pot noodle. You don't get a drink. You don't get a drink because he doesn't drink. What's up with you? Well, I'm bloody thirsty, John. Weird.
Corporation pop. It's bloody tap.
It's been raining.
No, the water's all right. Get stuck into it. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. Right.
I've got some good loyal sponsors.
Class.
So, well, then we're not going anywhere.
No, you're not wrong. So, yeah, well, if anyone wants to be a part of Chasin the Racin, that's another shameless plug for Grace on that side, because I can already hear editing this going, you better be asking for sponsors for us. But hey, I tell you what, yet again, we could sit here all night. Generally could. It's fantastic crack. That has been another TT review. We're going to get him back next year when he's... But John,
When I'm not podium.
naked down the height. Was that the bed?
Yeah,
was it all on?
It was still on, yeah, but
Is that carrying in the next year?
It will do, yeah, but I had a deal with Toddy. I said if you win, I'll have a tattoo, so I've got to have a tattoo of Toddy's choice.
Shut up, man.
So that's on the cards as well. But my brother, I don't know about my brother again. He was going to do the nude streak with me, but he's really looking forward to it.
Yeah, your brother's got a proper sense of humour. I think he'll be nude, running down Morecambe Beach.
Any excuse Kurt gets to get his clothes off. What's to say something else?
I got a message through practice week. We were going to write fourths and fifths on the night practice, and he said, I've shaved my balls from it. So he was absolutely proud, ready for a full streak. He'd love it. He'd stay nude for a week. He's in our ex-RAF, and they're all just looking a bit weird in that job. So it would have been a bit embarrassing for me, but I would have partaken. But yeah,
that is class.
That would have been all right. A bit of laugh on it, but.
Well, I love it.
Hopefully
next year.
Hopefully we will get to it one day. Well, I probably should want to sell it anyway, but we had a deal with Harv as well, my boss, that if I get on the podium at the Northwest, he has to have a tattoo. But he's proper well stunt deal, I think. You should have seen his face. He was like, he was well backing out of that one.
Wait, you can't?
Then he said, double the quits. He says, if you get on podium at TT. So I shook his hand on double the quits, and I missed out, so he's got away with it. But he was wince. He was like,
I bet he was
quirking in his pants because you get a free tattoo at the. You got one, didn't you?
Yeah, I got one. Oh, I got. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it. There you are. No, I got a. Don't tell me, mum, everyone. But I've got a little piggy tattoo because I've got Chrissy.
I got bollock for that one off my mum. She went berserk. Yeah, you've got a cool one, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's you've got to laugh at these things. But I tell you what, yet again, we're going to start another conversation. I could do this generally all night, but I want to talk about it very briefly. But honestly, that Northwest victory, and I remember watching it. I'm not sure if it was
a victory.
Wait, it might as well be a victory. Honestly, the thing is,
bigger cheer than Toddy.
Wait, Toddy came in, right, and I was like, Hickman.
3 claps.
Yeah, well done, Hickman. Yeah, second's not bad. And honestly, it was just
standing ovation.
Honestly, it was just like a wave. The best thing is you could hear yourself come around the last corner, rolling down in this wave of noise, and you just came around the corner and you just nodded. John, I hate to tell you this, mate. You're English. When's the last time a Northern Ireland? Like, I'm not. That just shows what. Like, I'm not gonna get my tongue out your arm. But you're thinking, fuck, it was electric. Was it your brother that filmed that, Kurt? We might as well call this the Kurt McGuinness show. But like, there's a video of it. I could hear
the people over the noise of the engine, which is really cool. And it's been 12 years. It's been 12 years since I've been on a podium at Northwest.
You are.
I always wanted to stand back on that podium. And, a few gremlins, or what do you call them, skeletons in the closet, I don't know what you call them, but like there was a few gremlins from the Northwest. I thought I was off to meet my maker that day when I was going through that fence. And, again, I wanted to, I ploughed into that left-hander where I nearly killed myself as fast as I've ever been before, did 4:23, fast as I've ever been before. And, it was coming down to the Juniper chicane with Hillier, and I was like, which way are we going to go? And there's a slower rider, bless him. I'll never call them back markers because
they're not
hanging about. So I went inside, he went outside, and he sort of sat up and went through a chicane. So you don't get up gifted, but he did sort of half gifted.
No.
You got to earn them. It was really, really special. It was really special. It reminded me, the last lap I got waved round as well, a bit like the old Joey days, and I've been in them races where Joe and Matt Michael race program's waving job, and very rare it does that. In Ireland he does it, wave the programs and that, and it's really, really special. I've been in a few events like that when so a lot of memories come flooding back, and it's the first time my daughter's been there as well, Maisie, which was a little bit of icing on the cake, that, because again we open another can of worms up with bloody schools and kids and time off and all that sort of stuff. She has to have a week off for the North for the TT, and I just thought, fuck it, she's coming to the Northwest with me.
Class.
And I think it was a bank holiday one day, so she only missed 4 days. And hope nobody from school's probably listening to this. Probably we might have said she's ill, but
they've got good taste if they are listening. They'll forgive you, John.
It's important for me for them to be there, and it was class to see her in the winners' enclosure. And obviously, Ewan was working for Monza, but he was chuffed to bits. And Davy's reaction was special as well, because I had a bit of a double take. I pulled in next to him and he went, he probably didn't expect me to be me. And
class, man.
I saw my little protege been helping out. He was chuffed to bits. So it was class. And I sprayed the champagne and all that. I thought, fuck that, I'm spraying this. I'm supposed to keep it out, so I'm having it.
Damn right, lad. Damn right.
That. So it was a special moment, that. Good weather, good racing, good hard fair racing as well, wasn't it? Whole job was a real good solid sort of Northwest, that. So just momentum carried on to the TT. But it was really cool. Nice.
Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. But I tell you what, I'm roll on 2025 already. It's just yet again, I'm just mirroring what we've both said throughout this whole interview. John is back. And it's John.
Back.
It's just fucking great to see. Bad news for the rest of us, you know what I mean? But it's great to see, mate.
I'm going to carry on until I stop enjoying it.
Simple.
I'm not enjoying it a minute. I am loving it.
You're going to be in a wooden box before you start enjoying it, which is good to hear, mate.
Exactly.
Which is outstanding to hear.
Smash on as much as I can.
Mint. But right, me and him have got work. You don't, so there you are. But yet again, thank you so much to OMG Racing, Bennetts, JC Truck and Trailer Hire, and our episode sponsor, yet again,
Woodcote Events.
Nicely done. Right, kids, buy a book, buy a hat, stay sexy. Catch you later, guys.
Ciao.